Brown Lockdown.
Represents being real. Yeah.
Real, unfiltered sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown!
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
Let's get to it. Hello. What is up, Upstate South Carolina? How do you do? Great to be with you. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate. What's up, y'all? Great to be with you. Hope you're having a fabulous week. My name is Rob Brown, obviously. Back in the palatial ESPN Upstate studios. The man pushing buttons, switching switches, levers. He's in charge of literally everything on the show. Literally the entire show flows through him. He is Colonel Grudge, the Alpha and the Omega of ESPN Upstate. Hashtag Dad Kicks. The great one, Lonzo at the helm. What up, Zo?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Now, are you going more like traditional mafia movie, or are you going full Joey from Friends?
Somewhere in the middle, I think, possibly.
We got a busy show today, Zo.
Could Joey actually be a member of the mafia?
100%. Joey's lack of intelligence was never anything more than a cover for himself.
So he's not the guy you send to break fingers or something, because that's all he's good for. Okay,
no.
All right.
No, but he's the guy that you use to set up deals and stay covert. You know what I mean? Like he was always, Tribbiani was always using his he wasn't dumb. He just played that way for the sake of being useful. We all know that. Friends, actually a very dark mafia show.
I got to try that sometimes.
A lot of stuff to get to on the program today, and I hope that you will join us today. We have got no shortage of topics to talk about. The NCAA changing their transfer rule, changing up the old transfer rule. Players will now not have to sit out for a year. We'll give you the details behind that. That's coming from Nicole Auerbach. We'll get that report for you later on in the day. Masters ratings down from up from last year's tournament, but down from where they are traditionally. What does that mean, if anything? I'll give you my thoughts on that later on. Coming up at 2:20 this afternoon, Zoe walks us through Fight Club, your home for all things combat sports here on the Upstate every Thursday at 2:20. Zoe talks to us about everything going on in the world of mixed martial arts, professional wrestling, boxing, and the likes. So you will want to join us at 2:20 if you are a combat sports enthusiast. That's where we'll be. That's what we'll be doing. And a bunch of other stuff I need to get to over the course of the next 3 hours of sports talk entertainment, which starts, Lonzo, right this very second.
Let's do lunch.
This is a very nutritious lunch. All the food groups are represented. You guys are here.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here? Lunch!
Away we go, ladies and gentlemen. The lunch breakdown. These are the three things that you need to know before we start talking about sports around the lunch table, around the conference room, around the water cooler, wherever it is that you spend your lunch break. Here are the three things that will be the discussion today. We have more information dropping about the cases surrounding Deshaun Watson. A new lawsuit has been filed alleging sexual assault and harassment against Deshaun, filed yesterday, bringing the amount of lawsuits against Watson back up to 22 after a judge last week and earlier this week mandated that at least 13 of the cases brought against Deshaun must be refiled and must be refiled with the names and identities of the women filing them attached. One woman dropped her suit against Deshaun Watson. Another one has now added it. Erica Chapman is a freelance makeup artist who was identified by name in her suit. She alleges she was asked for a massage by Watson in September and November of 2020, despite Chapman making it clear she was not a licensed massage therapist. During a massage session, Chapman alleges Watson assaulted her and harassed her by exposing himself, touching her with his man parts, and groping her, end quote. Tony Busby, very different person. Tony Busby, the attorney from the Busby law firm, put out a statement that said the Busby law firm filed its 23rd case against Deshaun Watson for allegations of assault and harassment. The woman in this newest case did not file as a Jane Doe. Instead, she chose to name herself. The cases are now consolidated without an official order in one court. All women have voluntarily identified themselves. These brave women now feel emboldened and will not be intimidated. As said many times before, we are proud to represent these women who seek justice on their behalf, to stand up for survivors everywhere. Time's up, end quote. Another part of the statement came out that said, in light of privacy and security concerns, one plaintiff has decided not to pursue her case for now. Plaintiff reserves the right to refile this case once such concerns are addressed. The plaintiff alleged in her original petition. Wow, got to slow down a bit. The plaintiff alleged in her original petition filed March 22nd that Watson assaulted and harassed her by exposing himself and touching her with his parts during a massage appointment in Houston in July of last year. As of Wednesday morning, 20 of the 21 initial civil lawsuits against Watson had been amended to include the names of plaintiffs. All of those suits were initially filed on behalf of a Jane Doe. So Zoe, we're at the point now where we don't have a ton of new information. Busby has now said that they made the offer. To name the plaintiffs initially to Deshaun Watson's team. Busby is claiming that they told them we would name the claimants up front if we could reach an agreement where these women's names would be kept in private until the cases hit the lawsuit. Busby's law firm, Zoe, is alleging that Deshaun's camp and Rusty Hardin declined that deal. They did not want to accept a deal where the names will be identified, but they must be kept under wraps and only in the court system. I'm going to tell you this, with one or two spots of exception, I'm not saying this is where the decision gets made, Zoe, but with one or two spots an exception, Tony Busby's law firm is winning the court of public opinion right now, Lonzo, I think.
Absolutely. Deshaun's in trouble, without a doubt. And this thing is progressing to a point. It's progressing slowly, but it's starting to progress in a way that he absolutely does not want it to go. And this is going to end up being a criminal trial the way it's going. And we were curious if it would head that way early on. And it's definitely starting to look that way.
You ain't wrong, bruh. You ain't wrong. Deshaun looks like he is in trouble. I agree 100% with Zoe. It looks like Deshaun Watson might be in trouble here. If Busby is able to provide any communication where he offered to provide the names of these women as long as they were kept quiet and only in the court system, and Rusty Hardin's team turned that down, that is not a great look. Not a great look. So we'll revisit that later on in the show. Let's get to item number 2 on the lunch breakdown. Big news out of the NCAA. And this is something I think you're going to be very interested in. One of the most controversial rules in sports is no mas. Nicole Auerbach has reported from The Athletic, through The Athletic, I should say, that while the change won't be made official until the end of Thursday's meeting, Nicole Auerbach reports that, quote, the one-time transfer rule for athletes in all sports has been approved by the NCAA's Division Council. Sources tell The Athletic athletes in all sports will be able to transfer once and be immediately eligible. The notification dates passed, according to The Athletic. In normal years, there will be a May 1st deadline for fall-winter sports athletes to tell their schools they're transferring, and a July 1st deadline for spring sports athletes. Again, this isn't official until Thursday. For this year only, a waiver has been approved for all transferring athletes to use a July 1st notification deadline for immediate eligibility for the 2021-22 academic year. Per the Associated Press, athletes in sports other than football, men's and women's basketball, men's ice hockey, and baseball are already able to take advantage of the one-time transfer exemption without requiring an NCAA waiver. Those who had already graduated were also permitted to transfer without sitting. But according to Nicole Auerbach, the one-time transfer rule for athletes in all sports has been approved, meaning that players from this point forward, Lonzo, can move from one team to the next, without having to sit out a year. They are able to do that one time. So you will not get serial jumpers in the big sports. So I don't have an issue with it. I know this is kind of one of those places we've had differences in the past. I think players deserve a right to their future and to play ball where they want to play ball. And this gives them one time to transfer schools and end up somewhere that they want to be to play ball.
Welcome to free agency. The gates are open. The floodgates. Go where you will. One time, but go where you will. Just because you committed to a school and you decided that, hey, I'm on the bench. That guy ahead of me is better than I am. I couldn't beat him out. So I'm going to go somewhere else. Well, now you can, and you don't have to come up with some excuse. You can just say, I'm leaving. And so now I wonder, I'm sure there are coaches out there already who are designated transfer portal coaches. Now you're going to have professional coaches are just there to handle transfer portals. You're going to be able to scout, go anywhere you want, going to be able to coerce, going to be able to recruit from other teams and other colleges and go, hey, man, I couldn't help but notice that you weren't playing there. If you come to our team, you're going to get the start. So this is going to be, this is what you guys want. This is what we're going to get. It comes down to, well, the players are paid according to some. Well, why not act like a paid player and act like the NFL and be a free agent? And now they are.
I have a question for you. Why are you so against the premise of the free agency here? You don't have an issue with that in pro sports.
I have a problem with it if they are amateur athletes.
Why?
I have a problem because of what I just talked about, the coercion, the chance of corruption, the opportunity for underneath things. We were doing a mafia thing earlier when we started the show. It's that kind of thing, these under the table deals to get players to leave one team to go to another. And it's just, I mean.
But that already happens in regular recruiting too.
Not once you're already on the team.
So you have an issue with the corruption. If a player's already on a team and another team's recruiting him.
Here's what it's going to require. It's going to require better vetting by coaches, checking out character. They already do this, but even further, does this player have a propensity to get their feelings hurt? Do they have a propensity to go, I'm just going to take my ball and go home? Are they like that? You're going to have to ask their friends, their family, people that don't like them, find out why they don't like them. And maybe that's why. And then maybe you decide, okay, this kid seems a little wishy-washy. Yeah, he's really good. But if we bring him here and he doesn't start, well, he's just going to jump and go somewhere else. So we'll just go with somebody else.
Okay. Right. That is a true thing that will happen. Why are you against these kids being allowed to transfer to play basketball where they want to play basketball? I mean, everything you said is accurate and correct and sounds to me like they're coaches' problems. You haven't told me why you're against players getting to play where they want to play basketball.
You sign a contract, you're making a lot of money on the scholarship, play where you went. It just really comes down to, it's a matter of honor to me. If you decide that you're going there and then you aren't good enough to beat out the guy in front of you, well, that's
Sit on the bench
no, that's on you. It's a life lesson. We all go places and we end up having to deal with someone, whether they deserve it or not, being ahead of you and always getting the breaks, and you don't. That's just life, man. Learn from life. And in life you can quit and go somewhere else, but if you continue to quit and quit and quit, then eventually people are going to go, okay, you didn't really stay here very long. Why should we hire you? I'm going
to say this to you, though, and then we got to get to item number 3 because we're well behind, and we'll bring this conversation back up later on in the show. in my side of this profession, Lonzo, on my side of this profession, that happens very frequently where people that you believe you are better than get the job you believe you're good. And do you know what happens to people like Mark Ryan and I? We hop all over the place from job to job to job to job to job because we are chasing what we think is best for us. And if we are somewhere where they overpass us for a job that we think we should have got, yeah, we move on. All right, we'll come back to that coming up in a little while. Item number 3, this one, not a whole lot of meat and potatoes to it. I just kind of thought you guys would want to hear about it. Trevor Lawrence has done an interview with Sports Illustrated after his leading up to his wedding to Marissa Mowry. Trevor spoke with a reporter from Sports Illustrated who asked him what he expects in heading into Jacksonville. And he had some very interesting takes. He said that he is not playing with a chip on his shoulder. He said, quote, I want to do it because I want to be the best I can be. I want to maximize my potential. You wouldn't want to. You kind of waste it if you don't. It's hard for me to explain because I want people to know that I'm passionate about what I do, and it's really important to me. But I don't have this huge chip on my shoulder that everyone's out to get me, and I'm trying to prove everybody wrong. I just don't have that. I can't manufacture that. I don't want to. I think people mistake that for being a competitor. I think that's unhealthy to a certain extent. Just always thinking that you've got to prove somebody wrong. You've got to do more. You've got to be better. End quote. Trevor Lawrence says that he is not entering the league with a chip on his shoulder. He is not entering the league with a desire to prove anybody wrong. He didn't mention Lonzo specifically by name, but I think we all know who he was talking about there. Interesting interview from Trevor Lawrence that we will revisit coming up a little bit later on in the show. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us, 71307 on the Ingles Market text line. 71307 is the text line. We will read those on the air. We'll talk more about that in just a little while. I've got a bunch of texts coming in. We'll hit it all. We got time for a phone call, Zoe? Perfect. I did not get a message about who it is, so I'll let you tell me.
You didn't. I sent it to you. I wonder why it's not showing up. We have Slooper. Let's talk about the transfer rule.
Hang on, Slooper, hang on. Welcome to the show, big dog.
Hey, what's up, Rob? How are y'all?
Good, buddy. Good.
All right, so I got a question for you, and I just want to put it this way in regards to this transfer rule, because you're very pro-transfer, you're very pro-free agency. Let's say you're a fan of the South Carolina Gamecocks basketball team right now, and you're trying to figure out, in college sports, you kind of have an attachment to these teams. You get to know them, man. For the most part, you get to know them. And you've just had 6 players transfer out. You've had some guys you've had a guy go to Murray State. You've had another guy come in from Murray State, and you're a fan. You're Rob Brown, the fan. All right. Are you really going to take your time to spend your money on that program, get to know that program?
I do it with every other sport. I do it with my NFL team. I have 13, 15, 20 guys leave, come in and out every single year there. Yeah.
I think my question though deals within college sports. I think you're blending NFL sports, you're blending pro sports with college sports. There's a different attachment to the college sports fan. The college sports fan is loyal to their school. They're loyal to the players that have come through there. There's a different mentality between I don't mean to make it sound this way, but in pro sports, it's just about winning and losing, and that's it. Bottom line.
Slipper, I could not. I'm going to interrupt that. I'm not going to hang up. I want to continue to the call.
You're good.
I'm going to disagree with you. Listen, I got the Florida Lee tattooed on my back. The New Orleans Saints, and I'm just using them as the example. The New Orleans Saints aren't just about wins and losses. To me, it's a representation of my city, my town, my family. The fact that I've been watching this football team play for 32, 33 years now. That kind of attitude is used to try to make college sports better than the NFL. Now, let's put that aside for a second because that's not really at the crux of what you're saying here. You're saying the connection between school and college fan is deeper than it is for an NFL fan or NBA fan. For the sake of discussion, let's say that's true. Fine, Slooper. If these guys come in and they say South Carolina is not for me, what does your connection with the school? Why does that take precedent to what these players on this team want and is better for them in their career? Why are you more important than the guy who puts on the uniform?
Okay, so I'm just talking about as purely a fan, all right?
Sure.
And you're getting to know these programs, you're getting to know these schools. I can remember the players growing up that played for Clemson football. Man, I can remember those guys. Woody Dantzler, man, guys that have no bearing on pro sports, never did anything. I grew an attachment with those players, those teams, man, because of that. There's nothing anymore. And it started in basketball. And I'm just going to tell you, for me personally, I think there's a lot of people like me too, Rob. There might be some like you too as well, but I truly feel like you're seeing a corrosion of the sport, of college sports. And you can say it doesn't matter to you, but it kind of matters to me. It makes me care less. It makes me care less when we're just bringing in guys for a year that don't give a crap about my school. They don't care. They care about their own playing time. They care about their stats, and that's it. And
Slooper,
that's
hang on,
not
quick.
But that's not. I just figured that's not healthy for the sport. That's not healthy for the college game. It's not. And eventually, these guys will figure out down the road when people start caring less that the fans were important, and that they're the ones who actually paid the bills, and they're the ones who watch the games. And if I can't know who the players are on the team, I have no idea who they are. I'm not watching like I used to watch.
Slooper, listen, man, I want to do this. Can you hang on? Because we got to run to a break. Can you hang on for a minute? Hang on, because I want to continue this conversation. I find it really compelling and really interesting. Let's take a break. We'll keep Slooper on. I want to ask him a couple of questions when we come back on the other side of the break. My name's Rob Brown. Lonzo's at the helm. The Rob Brown Show is on the radio. It's ESPN Upstate. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to see if I can fix my computer screen because it's kind of bugging me a bit. Okay, I am back. I know you missed me.
We all missed you, Rob.
Let's see what we got. My man Dave, nowhere I can get any. Yes, David, I do. You can email me and I'll send one to you. You can hang it right there in your studio. We'll look beautiful. Okay, nerd test, and the answer is obvious and right in front of you. 4 minus 2 equals 6, 7, or 8. I don't understand. What? I don't understand what that means, Steven. 4 minus 2 equals 6, 7, or 8? Zoe, you get it?
No, but no one told me there was going to be math. So, yeah.
My main takeaway is that Chase Lawrence is the dopest brother.
$30 seconds.
10-4.
ESPNUpstate.com and we'll put him to the test. This is the Rob Brown Show. Local sports talk on ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate. I am Rob. Lonzo back in the studio. Let me get Slooper back here. We were having a very interesting conversation that I wanted to continue. And here's the question. Here's the question that I'll ask you, Slooper. We got a couple of minutes here before we got to run to another break, and it's this. I understand that you have a deep passion and love and respect for your program, and you want to care about it. And, of course, you want guys who care about your school to play for your school. You want them to care about the school the way that you care about the school, and I respect that, and I appreciate it. But if a kid is disillusioned with a school to the point that he wants to leave, don't you want him to not be there anymore? If he doesn't feel the same about your school, and whether it's because of his playing time or it's because of the fact that the school just wasn't what he thought it was going to be, or there was some issue with the coaching staff that they didn't see before he got there, etc., don't you want the opportunity for kids who don't feel that way, don't have that deep love and passion for your school like you do, to be able to get out of it?
Okay, here's how I'd answer that. One, as an 18-year-old, you don't know what you have no idea. And I feel like if you're going to make that decision, it better be one that you take a lot of time on, you think about, and, there has to be some consequences for that decision as well, because otherwise you're going to get to a point where, like we are in basketball, and you just have no idea what kids are doing. You're going to 3-4 different schools. And I know they say this is a one-time deal, but it's not just going to be a one-time deal, the path we're going down. And I'm not saying it just because I think you're getting my argument a little bit wrong. I'm not saying they should stay just because myself, a fan, says they should stay. I'm saying that while we're doing this, we're corroding the sport to the point where fans are the reason that we have these programs. They're the ones who pay the bills, and they're the ones who get those massive TV contracts because we're the ones tuning in. If the fans, the people paying the bills, no longer care as much, then you're hurting your own product. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's just because, hey man, be loyal to your school. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying they're eventually hurting their own product for kids that are coming up the line. The 13-year-olds, 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds that are working their way up to Division I. I mean, I can see where TV contracts are going to start to go down because there are a lot of people that are like me that college sports is just a little different. It's not professional sports. And if we keep going down this route, I don't think it's going to be supported as much. I may be completely wrong and completely off base, Rob, but that's my opinion. And I'd imagine there's a bunch of people in the Southeast who probably feel that same way, that they don't want professional sports in college sports. If it got to that point, I'd rather them just create a minor league system for it and be done with it. But as an 18-year-old, to answer your question, me as an 18-year-old, I wouldn't know what I wanted.
Well, hang on, Slipper.
I'd be upset if I didn't get out.
But that's funny to me.
Yeah.
Because when a kid says, I want to transfer and go somewhere else, it's an 18-year-old doesn't know what he wants to do to his life. But when an 18-year-old 5-star signs with your football team, it's the greatest thing that's happened to the team in some time, right? So it kind of seems a little have your cake and eat it too when you say these kids don't know what's best for them when they want to leave, but when it's recruiting time, we're throwing NLIs at them before they're even out of high school yet. So either the system's broken or it's not.
Yeah, but you have to have a system, Rob. You can't just go, hey,
I'm good with that. But what you're telling me is the system's fine when it's the way you want it, but it's broken when it's not the way you like it.
No. See, the way I thought the system was fine, it met in the middle. It was all right. You can transfer. That's fine. But there's going to be a price to pay for that. This is going to be a serious decision. You're going to have to sit out a year. That's what I'm saying. I thought you have to meet in the middle here, because if it gets to the point where I think it's heading, there's going to be a lot of people who have disinterest in your product. And if you're the NCAA, I cannot believe that somebody's not in that meeting saying these things, going, hey, how is this going to hurt our product? Because at the end of the day, it's your business. It is a business. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. And I hate it that if somebody chose the wrong school, that they have to sit out a year. That's just the way it was, and it met in the middle, Rob. I'm not saying that we have to go one way or the other, but there's got to be a middle point there. And I thought it was fine the way it was. I never knew that hockey and all those other sports got to do what they want to do. I don't think that's right. I think everyone should be on the same page. Ultimately, that's probably one of the selling points that got this thing passed, to be honest with you. But you see where I'm coming from here. You don't want to hurt the product to the point where the programs are unrecognizable, and the players are the faces of those programs. And if I can't tell who's going to be suiting up every Saturday, and they're just wishy-washy, they're coming and going every other Saturday, I'm not going to care as much, Rob. I'm not going to take my time to go up there and sit in Death Valley or Williams-Brice. I'm just not. And there's a lot of people who are like me too. And that's just that's what people need to be talking about as well. I think that's what your co-host is trying to say as well. That's fine. We're going to go down this path, but you're going to get what you're going to get. And I ultimately think we're going to have a rebound back to the previous system here in about a decade. We're all going to be going, this is a complete mess. Nobody knows what's going on. We have no consistency, and we're going to go back to the old system. That's what I truly believe. But I'll let y'all run, man.
Super appreciate it, man. Great call. Thanks for chatting.
Hey, Rob,
thanks for taking some time.
I have another angle, something I was thinking about during the conversation. Okay. So say we'll just use Clemson as an example, because Clemson is one of the top 3 or 4 teams every year now. Let's say an inordinate amount of kids suddenly decide they're leaving Clemson because they're not playing. Eventually that starts to hurt recruiting, because recruits are going to look and go, okay, why are all these guys leaving? Why are they not staying at this school? You know what? I don't want to go there because people don't stay there. Let me go somewhere else. And then also that's other coaches can use that as a tool against them. You don't want to go over there because no one stays there. They're all leaving and going to another school. So you need to come to our school. I think it just opens up another can of worms as far as that goes.
Seems to me like that would be a really dandy reason to get your coaching staff to figure out what the problems are and fix them. That's what that sounds like to me. I think this whole thing, we're putting all the responsibility on 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. If there is a mass exodus of players, Clemson had a handful of defensive players walk away this year. If there's not that that's anywhere near a mass exodus, but if you got that many players who are leaving your program, I don't think we should be pointing the finger at the transfers. I think we should be pointing the fingers at the coaches running the program that have kids transferring out of it, not wanting to stay there. 844-GSP-ESPN. Text to 71307 on the Ingles Market text line. We still got JW on the line, Zoe?
Yep.
Let's get JW in here. We'll push the break back a minute or two so we don't want to make him wait through it. JW, welcome to the show, bud. Great to have you. Thanks for taking a minute.
Hey, thanks for letting me on.
Sure thing.
The last caller guy, I mean, I don't want to say I understood where he was coming from because, I mean, I don't know if he exactly, like he said, he didn't know that the other rules applied in the other colleges to where they could leave for a year and be automatically eligible and stuff. I mean, being naive is not an excuse. I mean, but I think they should have let it happen. I mean, you know, you got the coaches up and leaving and, you know, say you really did good for a coach and y'all, the guys he recruited at school, say it be Clemson, you know, basketball, you know, they gelled together, they did what they were supposed to do, they made a run to the Final Four, you know, they got some small recruits, you know, they're making names for themselves, and the coach, you know, does so well that, hey, you beat North Carolina, Tar Heels hire him. You know, he ups and he leaves for a better job. Then all of a sudden, the new coach that they bring in, you know, maybe the coach, you know, who the guys are playing for him now, well, I didn't see you as a small forward. I thought, you know, you're a little too slow. Maybe I put you at the power forward. And now you got a whole bunch of guys who they aren't happy into the system. So it kind of handcuffs them to where now they got to sacrifice, you know, a year of their playing time, you know, a year of, for some of those guys, you know, maybe their only chance of getting seen nationally to get some kind of exposure, you know, to maybe hopefully take their talents to, you know, get paid some way, if not the NBA, overseas or something, you know, it gives you some kind of tape to be seen. So it robs those guys.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's in one direction of a point that I had made earlier in contradiction to what it was either Slooper or Zoe or somebody on the text line said about it. But they said, well, look, if you come to this school and you can't beat out a guy and you're a bench player, well, just deal with it and work harder. Well, that's great. If you're in a line of business, maybe that works because you can put a whole career towards being the best in your field. But if you're a college basketball player, you got 4 years. That's it. And if you believe that you are NBA caliber or Turkey or China League caliber, that you can make it into a Euro League, and I've got 4 years to prove myself, no, I will go somewhere that I can get my play and play time. But for some reason, that's like the most selfish thing in the world, when I'm sure there have been plenty of players that have been told, if you come here, you're going to get playing time. You're going to go, oh, our bad, this other guy's better than you, so we're not going to get the playing time that we promised you. To me, the university, and this is subjective and it's personal, JW, the university is not more important than the kids who play the game. They are equal in terms of providing the product. Without the university, these kids don't have a college football program to play. But without these kids playing basketball, I promise you the university didn't want to trot out a bunch of overweight white dudes like me to play because nobody would have watched the games.
They're not going to trot out the intramural team to get squashed and beat up on, you know, on a national stage. You know, they put their time and efforts out to, you know, present themselves as a decent university, a decent program to come play for, to represent. And, you know, that's what the kids are, you know, being sold on. So that's what they want to produce.
Sure. J-Dub,
and then all of a sudden you're selling them a different dream.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You got it, man. Appreciate you. Thanks. Call back in anytime. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. I have got a ton of texts that have come in on this topic that we will get to when we will come back. We'll get Lonzo's thoughts on where we stand after a couple of phone calls. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate.
We're just minutes away from a shot at $1,000. Another keyword is coming.
This conversation took on a life of its own, Lonzo.
I'm sorry, you weren't in queue, so I didn't hear the question.
I said this conversation is taking on a life of its own all of a sudden.
It has, and you're absolutely wrong in every way. I can't prove it, but I know right here that you're wrong.
You are wrong in every single way, and I can't prove it, but I know it's true.
I also think you're wrong about you being trotted out on the college basketball team. I'd love to watch that. I'd have so much fun watching that. That would be exciting.
You and everybody else who wanted to see real athletes dump 40 on me.
I'll play center on that team. I only last about 2 minutes because I will foul 5 times really quick.
Oh, you want to hear something funny? So I'm going today at 5:30 to meet a couple of dudes from one of the local professional sporting organizations to play a half-court 3-on-3 pickup game. And I told them, y'all, I probably got about 7 good minutes in me, and then it's going to be tapping out for your boy.
Well, you do have another commitment a little bit later.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, you might want to re-examine that.
Go ahead and change that up just a little bit.
Yeah. You might want to schedule that for next week.
Glad you reminded me of that.
I enjoy being your calendar.
Thanks, buddy.
Also, I don't want to get that phone call going, hey, man, I got to leave. I got to go to my other job. What do I do?
Right.
In which I say, I just leave Mark Ryan on the air and go on.
In fairness, and this is behind the scenes production, but in fairness, every day I've done it this week, he has about a 27-minute interview.
Yes, he does.
So I go in there, I do a segment, I push play, I do a segment, and I go home.
As someone who did that for quite some time, I'm aware of how that works. But at the same time, this could be one of those times where he has to leave and does that, and then it stops playing in the middle of which has happened before. I have left the room and come back, and it's not playing. It's like, no. Yeah. But thanks to skills, I'm able to, fix it. You're right, Eddie. He doesn't want me to be that. That would not be good. If I were his conscience, he'd be doing a lot of going, you know what? That's a bad idea. I think I'll just stay home and play video games.
Oh, the text line is blown up. Good Lord.
Prisma Health in the next break. Of course, we're talking college sports. Yes. One minute.
1 minute.
Keep in mind we're running late.
Yep. Way late.
The sad part is someone referenced your shirt, which is an excellent shirt, and that's what the math question was about. But here's my defense in that. I'm just not a Nintendo guy.
You got to stay true to your roots, though.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is I didn't know that. So, but you wearing the shirt, I mean, of course you knew that. $20 seconds.
Opinions are like saying everybody has one.
Call 844-GSP-ESPN. Local sports talk on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Real quick, run through the text line because we are way off the clock. So I'll give you a couple of texts that have come in. We'll take a break. I'll come back. I'll give you a couple more at ESPN. That's ridiculous. These kids are trying to become pros. They have the full right to chase their career. Lonzo has the old school mentality. These days, people hop jobs on the regular at ESPN. So, Zoe. Oh, I like this, Lonzo. This is a solid call out. Your answer. So, Zoe, if Justin Fields would have sat behind Jake Fromm and stayed at Georgia, he would have cost himself millions. Sometimes it's not quitting. Sometimes it's giving yourself a better opportunity. It's also okay when a coach sells a kid a dream, and then when he gets there, disowns him for a better player, but you don't disown the coach or blame a coach when they leave for another job. Sounds like the grumps is coming out.
By the way, I just want to point out, just like Slooper mentioned earlier, I agree with him. I like the old rule. If you're going to do it, if you're going to leave, you should be penalized for it by sitting out a year. And if you do that, then I don't have a problem with it. But being able to just decide, you know what, I'm done, I'm going somewhere else, I do have a problem with that. And yes, by the way, Texter, you're right. I think old school. You know why? Because I'm old. You're welcome.
Get off my radio station. At ESPN, let's see. Tom Brady will always be a Patriot to me, but I absolutely love him in Tampa as well. I think he's talking about players moving. At ESPN, the last caller used Carolina fans as an example of loyalty. LOL. I haven't heard anything from Carolina fans in years. I'd want to transfer out of that program too. At ESPN.
Thank you, Clemson fan. We appreciate that. No, you don't have to identify yourself. We know who you are.
We know. Let's see. At ESPN. Oh, hang on. Let me get back. ESPN. Also, these guys are getting angry with kids. These guys are making some of the most important choices of their life at 17. They spend their, I hate when the texts break up this way. They spend their whole life working to be the best whatever they play. Coaches will sell them on a dream and then tell the next 5-star the same thing. And just because you get beat out, it doesn't always mean you're not working hard enough or good enough. Sometimes it's the situation. And these guys with a chance at the next level use college as basically a job resume. And if I spent my whole life working towards that goal, then I would also do whatever for the best chance at achieving said dream. You didn't always make the best choices at that age. Give the kids a break. End quote.
A couple of years from now, we will be talking about the corruption that this decision has wrought. And we'll be going, some people will be going, why did this happen? And I will point out that this happened because you allowed it to happen.
It's always super easy to point out the corruption in the system you don't like while ignoring the corruption within the system you do. There are $1,000 handshakes taking place on every campus in America right now with freshmen trying to get them onto the basketball team. It's
by the way, that's also wrong too, and I've witnessed it even at the Division III level. So yes, it happens. Right. It's not right.
But this is the first time I've heard you be upset about corruption is when it's with the system you don't like subjectively.
You and I have only been working with each other for about 6 months.
That's also true. I got a million more texts that have come in. I'm going to keep hitting them, but we got to get to a break and we're still off the clock, but try to get back closer to it. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. The Rob Brown Show's on your radio. It's ESPN Upstate.
Prisma.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
Prisma Health. Speaking of Clemson in South Carolina, Prisma Health is the Gamecocks medical provider, the Tigers medical services provider, and they want to be the official medical services provider to you and your family. And with over 2,400 doctors across the upstate and the Midlands, with locations all around us, and with the ability to run everything through their website so that your healthcare services are easy, accessible, organized, Prisma Health should be your choice to keep you and your family's health and safety at the top of your priority list. Go to their website at prismahealth.org. You can take a look at the services that they provide. You can look through and find a primary care doctor, an orthopedic doctor, a heart care doctor, a women's health doctor. You can look through and find exactly what you need for the healthcare issues you face and the compassion and care that comes along from Prisma Health because of it. Go to their website, prismahealth.org, to learn more. That's prismahealth.org. It's Prisma Health here in the upstate.
From the 106.3 WORD Weather Center, here's the Upstate's most trusted forecast on ESPN Upstate. Mostly sunny skies here this afternoon. We'll see a high around 73. Tonight, mostly clear and a low near 44. By Friday, mostly sunny skies, a high of 69 degrees. For the weekend, a slight chance for rain Saturday and sunny by Sunday. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on ESPN Upstate. Currently, it's 62.
Okay, so you can't throw a football 90 yards like an NFL QB and get paid the big bucks?
I'm down to be great right now.
No sweat. All you need is 2 ears, a texting finger, and your radio locked on ESPN Upstate with a $1,000 cash stash. Listen every hour from 7 to 5 p. weekdays for the keyword. Then text it to 72881. Text and data rates apply in this national contest. You could be the winner of a big chunk of dough 11 times a day. Powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better bet. Download the BetQL app today.
Owning your own land is something you've always dreamed about, and now it comes true. Huff Creek Properties is the land division of NAI Earl Furman. Tripp, Dallas, and Ellis are your land experts in the upstate. If you're looking to buy or sell land, contact them at 610-LAND. Want to build your dream home, fish in your own private pond, enjoy a honey retreat on the weekends, or you just want some room to roam? Huff Creek Properties has multiple mini farms available now in Greenville, Spartanburg, and Anderson counties. Call Huff Creek Properties today, 610-LAND, or visit.
So out of the corner of my eye, coming down the hallway, I thought it was Bane, but it was actually the boss, it was just kind of weird, you know. If he was a little bit bigger, it would be scary. I don't know if you knew this, but Atlanta is playing right now. It's on TV, and they're losing again. So I think your robo-umps thing would not help the way their season's going. I agree, Keegan. We need a few more ESPN Upstate signs. Rob requested more. This is all on him. That's what he wanted, so that's why they're up there. But they said, you know, 4. We only going to give you 4. He wanted 17, but we give him 4.
I did what now?
A wonderful radio program. That's what you did.
No, I know you were obviously talking about me wanting more signs, which I absolutely do.
And I said that the powers that be said you could only have 4, even though you wanted 17.
I'm gonna find more. I need to. I got to fill in those 2 gaps, right? Like I got to fill in those 2 gaps.
I could rearrange them to make it look better. The reason why I will not is because of who put them up in the first place. One way to make it look better is just take that bottom one, put it up in the corner, and just have the 4 evenly. Yeah. 30 seconds.
Outstanding.
I can't do that, Steven, because I work at 2 stations and I can only point at one sign.
Text us anytime at 71307. Use keyword ESPN followed by your comment. Local sports talk on the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Yes, indeed. The Rob Brown Show rolls on, heading towards the end of hour number 1. A lot of conversation about the NCAA's decision to suspend the transfer rule where players must sit out for a year. We've got a bunch of text on the topic. I'll read you one or two more before we get to our break at ESPN. Lonzo's position would be stronger if the student athletes got a 4-year guaranteed scholarship. However, as I understand it, it's a 1-year scholarship that is subject to renewal each year. And right now, schools do cut players by not renewing players' scholarships. The value of commitment cuts both ways, end quote. I do know there are some scholarships that do renew year to year, and that's a valid point, Lonzo. I would make the argument that if we are not going to allow players to transfer moving forward, if we're not going to allow players to transfer, then every scholarship should be a guaranteed scholarship for a full education. You can't offer a 25% 4-year ride and then be upset when a player says, I want to walk somewhere else. Or if they are going to transfer, you realize, hey, you only signed them to a 1-year contract. They only played a 1-year contract. They did fulfill what you asked them to fulfill. All right, we'll bring that topic back up in just a little while. But before we do, let's get you a chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Your word for this upcoming 1 o'clock hour is epic. It's epic. 72881. Text epic, EPIC, to 72881. Powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Text EPIC to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Coming up in the next hour of the show, we'll continue this conversation because we've got a bunch of texts to run through. We have also got some NFL news and notes to get into, as well as the NBA. It's going to be busy on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
ESPN Upstate.
My brain is foggy today, Lonzo. Like, it's just not keeping up with my mouth.
Welcome to my world. No guest today?
No.
Okay.
But maybe tomorrow. Did you see the email that your boy sent me? I just saw the first one. Where'd it go? Jay wants to know, do we want Jerry the King on tomorrow, Zoe?
Is that really a question? Of course we do.
All right, I'll set that one up.
Rob Brown Lockdown.
Represents being real.
Yeah. Real, unfiltered sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown!
This is the Rob Brown Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
And here we go. The Rob Brown Show's back on your radio. This is ESPN Upstate. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. I am Rob Brown. Lonzo back in the network studio. You guys on the phone lines, on the text line, on the Twitter device. Get in touch with the show, won't you? 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us, 71307. The woe continues for the Atlanta Braves. They have already lost 3 games in a row to the Miami Marlins, and now in the bottom of the second, they find themselves down again to the Marlins. The Fish on the verge of sweeping a 4-game series away from the ATL. What are you laughing at, man? What is going on back there?
At the end of the season, when this blown call, and you're going to look at it and see, this is what, the Braves could have advanced into the playoff, but now they can't. Yeah, like they're going to be in the playoff.
You know what, Lonzo?
I know there are a lot of Braves fans out there. I'm sorry, but but I'm in it for the long game, man. And apparently Atlanta is not.
If there was anything I could do to mildly frustrate you right now, I would do it. I would do it. Unbelievable.
Let's face it, it's not that hard to mildly frustrate me. Just
that's also true.
Ask me a geometry question or something.
I think it's great, and I think all college players should have the right to go where they want, when they want, without restriction, at any point in time, forever. That's what I think about that. No, we're talking about the NCAA. Apparently, it's going to be announced later this afternoon that they are indeed approving the new transfer rule. That is to say, players are now eligible to transfer schools and not have to sit out a year in order to make that happen. I want to run through some more of the texts that we have gotten, Lonzo, because we have gotten quite a bunch of them, and the phone lines are open as well. 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776. Text us at 71307, 71307. A few texts that have come in so far at ESPN. That's ridiculous. These kids are trying to become pros. They have the full right to chase their career. Lonzo has the old school mentality. These days, people hop jobs on the regular, end quote. And I would agree that that is true, Zoe. I know the argument's going to be, well, this isn't a job. This is not a job, but it kind of is. It kind of is a job. And I will tell you right now, if it would take a heck of a lot to get me out of Greenville. It really would. But if somebody ever came and said, hey, here's a way better job opportunity for you to take, and they said that to Lonzo and Lonzo took it, I wouldn't be mad. If Mark Ryan took it, I wouldn't be mad. If Diesel took it, I would understand that is the way of the world.
I get it, and it doesn't apply to me. And you're right. I have an old school way of looking at things. And by the way, I've been in this building for over 21 years. So I mean, I believe in sticking and staying if I can. And obviously, I love this place, and that's why I'm still here. And I haven't ticked off management enough to make them want me gone.
I like that you said yet, just to make sure.
Well, it's been close a couple times, I'm sure. But, I get the other side of the argument. I just disagree with it. And in the end, it doesn't matter what I think about it. This is going to be this way. And I am so concerned about all the underhanded things that are going to be done and how, like I said in the last hour, how this could really affect a team if a bunch of players decide, hey, we're not going to stay here, and they leave. Then suddenly your favorite team can't get the players that they used to get because people think there's something wrong with the program just because kids are not good enough to play for that team and decide to go somewhere else.
Seems to me like a good reason to fix your program.
No, what it means is that program is so good that these kids who thought they were on that level and are not are having to go somewhere else. But the perception would be is there's a problem with the school, even though what the problem is they're that good.
Well, if you're
and
eventually, what are you worried about?
Well, eventually it's going to hurt you. Eventually, with all the rumors and everything that, and all the bad mouthing that recruiters do. And that's their job. I get it. Eventually, those schools that are really good won't be that good anymore because they won't be able to get the players they used to get.
Quick text from Pittsburgh. Tony says, I'm with Schlooper and Lonzo on this. This is the beginning of the end for college sports and athletes. What happened to there is no I in team, Rob? Every coach that I ever played for stressed it's not about you, it's about the team. Loyalty, unfortunately, seems to be a passing attribute. What are we teaching our young student athletes? Here's what you're teaching them. Loyalty, Pittsburgh, Tony, Loyalty is a very important attribute, and it is one that is earned, not demanded. It is one that is earned. You earn loyalty. You do not just give loyalty freely, Tony. You know that as well as I do. So does Zoe. You don't just give loyalty away for free. It is a commodity. It is earned. And so if I show up at a college and they sell me a bill of goods and I show up and sign the dotted line, and then everything they told me was going to happen doesn't, then they have not earned my loyalty. They have not. I listen.
Can you give an example of what you just talked about? So the bill of goods are told you're going to be here and you're going to be the starter and you're going to be the best, and then you get there and you're not good enough because this kid is better than you.
Don't tell me I'll be the starter then.
That's on you. That's not. Yeah, it is. If you're not good enough to beat the guy in front of you, that's on you.
If I tell you you will be a starter and you will play this year, and then I show up and I'm not a starter and I don't play that year, you lied to me. You can say, and this is, I think we're breaking down, we're threatening pedantics here. But if I feel I am sold a false bill of goods, if I am sold playing time and I don't get it, if I'm sold a starting role and I don't get it, then I'm out. You're not living up to your end of the deal. The same as if I showed up to a program and I got there and then I just got fat and overweight and didn't pull my end of the floor, I would get kicked off the scholarship because I didn't upend my end. Loyalty flows two ways. And I think that's where these players are coming from at this point. Loyalty is an earned commodity. Here, I'll give you the example. I worked for a radio station down in Florida for many, many years. Mark can tell you stories about this place too. For many, many years. And I was told at one point, after one of our afternoon hosts went to jail again, he left, and I moved back into the afternoon drive time slide. I was busting it. And I looked at the owner of that station and said, this guy's not coming back, right? He's already been to jail twice. He's already come back twice. You've kicked me off the afternoon drive twice to bring him back. He's not coming back, right? Because he stole from you. He stole from me. He stole from listeners. He's not going to be here anymore, correct? And the boss looked at me and said, correct. That ship has sailed. He has taken his second and third and fourth chance and screwed it up. He's not coming back. We're not allowing it. And I said, great. And I took over the afternoon show. And I busted for it. And I had better ratings than he had gotten before he left. And this guy ended up getting to a point where he could be hired again. And one day, Lonzo, as I walked into after I left the office and I was driving home because my boss didn't have the stones to tell me this to my face, he calls me and he says, hey, man, we're going to move you back to the mornings. And I said, no. And he said, yes, we're bringing back the host because we just feel like he deserves one more shot. So we're bringing him back and we're giving him back his afternoon show. And hey, aren't you happy you get to be the morning drive host? And I went, nope. And I turned around and I went back to the office, though, and I grabbed all my stuff and I told him I quit and I walk out. Now, does that mean I had no loyalty? Absolutely not. I was loyal to a fault with that place. Does that mean that I was putting me above the program? In this case, yes, because the program didn't earn it from me. They made me a promise. They told me what was going to happen. They bold-faced lied to me. They picked another guy that I was better than to put into my starting role. So I up and walked and I transferred. And my life is better for it. I would not be here if I hadn't made that decision. All right. Now, granted, I was 32, 31 when that happened. But
wow, that was a long time ago.
Ages ago, Lonzo. Ages ago, Lonzo. I was 31, 32 when that happened. And we are talking about 17, 18-year-old kids making this decision. But here's the thing. For those of you that have said to me, well, you're entrusting these 18, 19-year-old kids to make this huge decision. And I just think there needs to be a thinking period where they sit out and think about it, make sure. I have never heard anybody say that about actual recruiting. Nobody has ever said, well, maybe we should give recruits more time to make their decision because they're young and they're making one of the most important decisions of their career and where to go to college. Everybody's fine with an 18-year-old making his decision as long as it's the decision that you like, right? That seems to be where this comes down. A couple more texts on the Ingles Market text line at 71307 at ESPN. Lonzo makes me turn you guys off every day. Go Braves.
You know what? I make you turn us off every day, but then you turn us back on the next day. So obviously your love of Rob negates your hate of me. Thank you for coming back, and talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you tomorrow. Rob, Lonzo's right. You wait a year, take your medicine, and transfer. I would be fine with that if this was a career-long thing, right? If guys could play, if this was an NBA level where guys had years and years and years, and the only thing that would take you out of the league is your ability to play, I'd feel more like that. But these guys have 4 years. These guys have 4 years. 4. That's it. And you're asking them to sacrifice 25% of their career. Tony, if somebody came to you right now and said, I didn't like a decision you made in your professional career, I want you to sacrifice 25% of your career, you'd tell them where they could shove it, wouldn't you? You'd tell them right where they could shove it. And it would involve the words, where the sun don't shine. But hey, man, 18-year-old kids, let's make them give up 25% of their career at the college level. 25% of the time that they could be putting tape down to prove that they got what it takes to move to the next level. 25% of the time that they could be utilizing to earn more scholarships and to better themselves professionally. So if I told you that in order to well, you haven't changed stations, but if you were going to change stations and I told you in order to do it, you had to give back 25% of your career, you'd tell me shove it, wouldn't you?
No, there's a part of my career I would love to give back. Absolutely. If I get to pick the part that I give back, I'm down with that.
844-GSP ESPN. Let's see. Keegan says, yeah, because this is what's going to cause the NCAA to be shady and underhanded. Y'all, and that's from an Auburn guy. All right. Keegan says there's no I in team, but there is an I in win and an I in millions. Yeah, you ain't wrong. At ESPN, no, I turn it on every day hoping Diesel is back and you'd go back to fighting over video games with Mark. Alonzo and I do plenty of fighting over video games.
Yeah, we absolutely do. We probably agree more than hate. But, I wish I could help you, but I can't. But, I love you, and I appreciate haters more than the people who love me, because that means, I'm doing my job. And you're still listening. Why are you still listening? I thought you said you turned it off. Isn't that what that other text said? I turn it off every day? Well, let me encourage you to go ahead and turn it off now, but you won't. You'll be back with us after the break.
I'm stacking money. Quick break. Back after this. Rob, Lonzo, you. Keep those texts coming in on the Ingles Market text line, 71307. Jump on the phone line at 844-GSP ESPN. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. This is ESPN Upstate.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your phone.
Did you say you've been in this building 21 years, Lonzo? Oh, he's on the live read. I'll get him to answer when we come back. Hang on for me. All right.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to find the button. Oh, man. All right.
Thought you were just leaving me up there to fuel that hate from that hater. I should look at that phone number and see if it's someone I know.
Which one?
The texter that hates me.
Oh.
Just in case you're watching the stream, you know your number is there. So I could text back in response, but I'm not because I'm having too much fun with it.
Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management. Investments and securities involved in this defense.
Everything these days claims to be smart, but that doesn't mean they always work smart. Like when the robot vacuum tried to handle my foot, or when the dog food dispenser thought Finch was underweight. One smart thing you can rely on is Pennington Smart Seed. It's so smart, it uses 30% less water year after year and is guaranteed to grow. Pennington Smart Seed, real intelligent turf. Pennington grass seed is available at the Home Depot.
These days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs, and that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone available at prices that are up to half off what you're paying now. That's right. You can cut costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now.
audio that matters to you. Listen on your smart speaker or voice-assisted device. Amazon Echo, Google Nest, Sonos, Apple HomePod. It's so easy to play your favorites at your command. Hands-free. All kinds of music from all over the country. Top 40, rock, R&B, country, alternative, and more. Sports talk and coverage from all the leagues. News from coast to coast. It's all here. Just ask your smart speaker to play your favorite station. Explore a universe of audio.
1 minute.
1 minute.
Just brought the text line up. You're right, man. Ton of text.
Oh, dude, it blew up today. Blew way up today.
Oh, that's my favorite text.
Which
like
one?
the second one.
Down on Twitter. Tweet at The Rob Brown Show on the Upstate Sports Leader, ESPN Upstate.
All right, 844-477-3776, Texas 71307. We will step away from the transfer rule discussion for just a minute. You are welcome to continue to shoot us emails, text messages, etc. about this topic. We will check back in. The Ingles Market text line is open at 71307, 71307. Send your text in. Be happy to read those. I'll give you one or two more that came in before we move off of it. Let's see. At ESPN Hurricane Jeff here. I wish I would have known about this transfer portal 6 years ago when my son committed to an NAIA school that was promising playing time from his freshman year. They gave him playing time, only on special teams and not at his position of outside linebacker when he was clearly better than those who were starting in front of him. Although at that time he would have had to sit out a year, he probably would have been able to get better coaching and quality time that at his position somewhere else. At ESPN, stop the 4-year argument because the next level athlete doesn't stay 4. It's just an idiotic narrative. I understand that the next level athlete doesn't stay 4, but guys who are going to transfer, right? They're the ones that are impacted by this, and a lot of those guys turn in to 4-year guys. At ESPN, Rob, Lonzo is right. You wait a year, take your medicine, and transfer. End quote. Yeah, like I said, it's super easy to volunteer somebody else to lose 25% of their time, not yourself, of course. All right, wanted to do this real quick as I look through the rest of the show prep. Lonzo, are you a Matthew McConaughey fan by any chance?
He's all right. I mean, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. He's all right. He is one of those actors that really puts himself into a role, and some of the roles he chooses I like, and some of them I do not. Obviously, he is a really good actor, though.
Phenomenal. And on top of that, dude is just kind of a cool guy, man.
He appears to be. You hope he's as cool as he seems to be.
Yes. After what we've seen with so many celebrities over the past couple of years who seem to be really, really cool people, and then you find out that little secret about them, and all of a sudden their whole world just comes crumbling down. I am. Oh Lord, you know what we did? Zoe? We forgot Rashad Beard from Panthers Nation podcast. Take me to break. We're coming back. I'm getting Rashad up next. That's on me. I'll come back to Matthew McConaughey. Wait up, McConaughey. I'm coming back to you. Rashad Beard of Panthers Nation podcast is next on the Rob Brown Show. It's ESPN Upstate.
You ready? Get that texting finger limbered up. You could win free cash at the top of the hour. But you've got to listen for the keyword. It's the $1,000 cash stash on ESPN Upstate.
I did ask you earlier, and you said tomorrow, and yeah, because
his number is. Well, I gotta type it to you. Hang on.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate it if you did that.
I'm sure he would not. But I gotta go dig it up. Actually, I think I have it on my show prep. I think I'm there.
We look at how much you save, how much you'll need, and help you build a straightforward plan to generate income, even when you're not working. A plan that gives you a chance to grow your savings and create cash flow that lasts.
Oh man, I'm an idiot sometimes, you guys.
Talk to us today so we can help you go from saving to living. Fidelity Brokerage Services number NYSE.
What time was he scheduled?
1 o'clock.
Really? Okay. All right. He's good.
All right.
Oh, hey, how is it going? That looks great. Thanks.
Of course, said Rob has no concept of time.
Yes.
And, I told him that we were in a heated conversation about the NCAA transfer rule, and he's been listening, so he knows.
Perfect. I mean, I'm still an idiot, but
I don't believe you're an idiot. I think you're a wonderful person with a great intellect. We have 30 seconds. Also, Harley and
perfect.
Let's talk brewed locally.
Oh my God, a hipster! Bring him a microbrew, quick!
This is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
To the phone lines we go, half an hour behind the time we were supposed to because, and it turns out this is a true statement, Rashad Beard from Panthers Nation podcast. Your boy Rob Brown is kind of an idiot sometimes, and I screwed up. So I am sorry, man. I apologize. Glad we were able to get you on, and I appreciate you joining us as always, big guy.
Hey, man, no worries, dude. I thought I was canceled, man. I thought I did something to be canceled. I thought it was my fault.
You are not canceled. You are not in the cancel culture. You are good to go. It just turns out I am bad at my job sometimes. That's all it is, Rashad. Nothing more, nothing less.
No
man.
worries. No worries, man. We all make mistakes. It's all good on my part, bro. I just thought I was canceled, man.
All good. All right, Rashad Beard from Panthers Nation podcast joining us right here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Thrilled to have him along to talk a little Panther football. We'll get into some specifics here in just a minute, but earlier this week we heard Sam Darnold talk for the first time as a Panther. Rashad, he sounded like he has a bit of a chip on his shoulder, a little something to prove. By the way, the Panthers have a game against the Jets coming up this year, so I'm wondering if we don't see a little revenge tour. Now that we have heard Sam Darnold talk for the first time as a Carolina Panther, what are your thoughts? A couple of weeks after the trade, time to really digest it, time to hear from the new QB. What are your thoughts on where we stand right now with Sam Darnold and what his future might be in Charlotte?
Yeah, man, I listened to the press conference. I listened to all the press conferences to make sure I'm in the loop. And listen, what his press conference didn't change my mind at all either way. He's very well in the media. That's what you hear from a lot of Jets fans. He's really good with the media. He knows how to handle it. And being so young, you know that's surprising. He didn't say anything that was groundbreaking. He thanked the Jets for the opportunity. Was a little bit upset with the trade, as he should. Any competitive player should be upset. So again, he didn't say anything groundbreaking. I'm hoping for the best. I did a nice little breakdown on the good, bad, and the ugly of Sam Darnold. So if you want to check that out, it's on YouTube right now. And I think he does after letting the trade sit and digest, and after a few weeks now, I think he does some good things. He also does some very bad things, even from a clean pocket. We all make the excuse about he had a terrible offensive line, but even from a clean pocket, he has made some bad decisions with the football. So that has to be cleaned up. I do think he's in a good situation with Joe Brady. Joe Brady makes it easy for quarterbacks. So I think even Teddy Bridgewater had a career year under Joe Brady. So I think it's going to be fine. Again, I still think we need to invest in the offensive line for sure. But it's really interesting, because I had the chance. I was blessed with the opportunity to sit down with Panther legend Stephen Davis last night, and I'm still on a high from that. And the dude, he brought up a great point. It's not just about the quarterback; it's about the team, it's about the culture. And so we can't just put it all on Sam, man. In order for this team to be successful, you got to put things around them. The culture has to be good, and obviously you have to have offensive line and weapons around him. So we can't just put everything on Sam Darnold. Get him some help, and hopefully he is successful here. Because honestly, I don't want to be on the QB carousel. I'm tired of it. We've seen quarterback after quarterback after quarterback, even these short 3-4 years since Cam, or actually 2 years since Cam. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks, and so I'm tired of it. Get us a guy. Let's roll with it. I'm all down with Sam. Hopefully successful.
All right. Give me the good, the bad, the ugly. You just mentioned it. Maybe hit your number one good and your most concerning bad. Now that you've done the breakdown on Sam Darnold, give me your number one thing, the thing that's making you most confident about him, and the thing that concerns you the most.
The thing I like about Sam is he's extremely mobile in the pocket. He can make throws. He has some really special throws. And he again, his pocket presence is good. He's mobile. A lot more mobile than people think he is, and that's the number one attribute for Sam, is that he's mobile and he's good. He's good with the football. The problem is with Sam is he gets happy feet sometimes. Okay, that mobility is also a curse for him because he wants to run. He has PTSD because the offensive line has been so bad that he gets shaky and he makes some bad decisions with the football. He doesn't quite know how to read defenses that well. And so I'm hoping that in Joe Brady's system, that he is able to make quick decisions and not necessarily have to think. The thing about Joe Brady's system is that there's always somebody open in that system. You just have to find it. And so I'm hoping that it's to the point to where he doesn't have to think about it. It's automatic. A guy's open, hit him, and keep it going. So again, he's very mobile. The bad news is that he makes bad decisions with the football sometimes.
That is something that we know Joe Brady, his system when he was down at LSU alongside Joe Burrow before he got drafted by Cincinnati. I don't want to say it's overly complicated because I don't think it is, but the one thing it does, or at least to me in the short time I watch Joe Brady do what he does, Rashad, he seems to be pretty well suited to cater an offense towards the quarterback in question. He did it with Joe Burrow. I would argue there were some spots he was even able to successfully do that with Teddy Bridgewater last year. Do those two guys have a relationship that you think can work between Brady and Sam Darnold?
Yeah, I think it's going to work. Even with Joe Burrow, look at Joe Burrow before Joe Brady was there, right? Complete, that offense was night and day. And again, a shameless plug again. I was able to speak with Stephon Sullivan, tight end, he's current Panthers tight end and former LSU Tiger. And he said that, Joe Brady he has it. He has it. He knows how to work with guys. He came in, completely flipped that system. It was literally the same guys. It was almost the same guys He came in and flipped that LSU offense, and it was like almost legendary. That's the best offense we've ever seen in NCAA history. Okay, and so I think Joe Brady is special, and I think he can do it. I think he can get the best out of Sam Darnold, and I think I'm hopeful that's the case. I'm really cheering for Sam. I think he's capable, but I think Joe Brady's going to have to work it, and he's not perfect. I don't want to sit up here and paint a picture as if Sam Darnold is the guy that can come save this franchise, because I don't. It has to be seen, okay? It has to be seen. But I trust Joe Brady. I've seen it with Joe Brady. He's done it, like you said, even with Teddy Bridgewater. It wasn't perfect, and because Teddy has his limitations. But Joe Brady can only take him so far. He's got to now. Sam Darnold has to unlock it. He has to unlock it and bring it. So I'm hopeful that he does it.
Rashad Beard of the Panthers Nation podcast, which you can hear on the YouTube. Make sure you check it out. They go live they go live a bunch of times a week, but they go live every Monday for the breakdown. You can follow them on Twitter as well at Panther Nation PC. Rashad, earlier this week, we heard from Matt Rule. We heard him talk a little bit about Sam Darnold, said, I trust him, I believe in him, et cetera, et cetera. But there was one thing that seemed to stand out the Panthers fan the most, and that was he was asked, what are they doing with the 8th spot? And his answer was, hey, look, we're looking best available. He would not say that they are not looking quarterback. He would not commit to any other position in general. He just said, we are looking best available. Rashad Beard, that said, coach speak to me, everything's on the table.
I mean, it's coach speak, but I think it's the right thing to say. I think it's the right thing to say, and you should actually do that, right? A lot of people say it, but BPA is such a commonly used term, but I think he should actually do that. I think we are in a really good situation. I've done several mocks. Mock drafting is super fun. I do it all the time. I release one every Monday on Mock Draft Monday. And listen, I think you're going to get a talented player. You sit back, let the draft fall to you, let everybody else do the trading up, let everybody else mortgage their future, do what they got to do. And at the end of the day, if you sit there and be patient, we're in a situation where the roster is right now where you can actually sit down and take the best player available. If you do that, I think it's the right thing to do. Don't just say it, do it. Because you can get a Rashawn Slater. You can get a guy. What if Justin Fields falls? We're trying to slander Justin Fields right now, and kill his stock. What if he falls to 8? You can't say you're not going to take a quarterback, because if he falls, you have to take him. Okay, so I think you should literally take best player available, sit there, and you're going to be A-okay. Don't just talk about it, do it. And I think if he does it, we're going to be in a good place.
Texter, text into our Ingalls Market text line at 71307. It says, ESPN Rob, ask Rashad who the Panthers will pick. So there it is, Rashad. No big demand from our listeners or anything. Just tell everybody exactly, look, I think best available means best available, whether it's Kyle Pitts, whether it's Justin Fields, whether it's Penei Sewell, whoever it might end up being. But the fact that the Panthers are in a position to take best available because you have a quarterback, Rashad, regardless of who you end up drafting, I think you ought to just be thrilled about the fact that you are in that spot.
Bingo. I completely agree. And you're in the top 10. You're going to get a talented player. And if it was me, we got to talk hypotheticals, right? If Penei Sewell is gone, if Kyle Pitts is gone, if Trey Lance is gone, you got to think one or two players, right? You're talking about Rashawn Slater, left tackle. Then you're talking about Patrick Surtain. I think one of those two guys is going to be excellent. I mean, I think right now, for me, the most concerning spot is the left tackle position. So if it was me, and I've taken him several times in mock drafts, and he's fallen to me every single time. Number 8, I think Rashawn Slater, left tackle out of Northwestern, who is a complete monster, okay? I got a pro day highlight video for him. He is a beast. You take him. He actually took some good reps against Chase Young last year, a couple years ago against Ohio State. He is really good, okay? So I think he sitting there at 8 is probably the best player available if it falls that way. Now, if Penei Sewell falls, he's got to be BPA. If Kyle Pitts falls, he's got to be BPA. If Justin Fields is there, he's got to be BPA. But you see what I'm saying here? You sit there, you're going to get a good player. Just be patient. Let all the other teams panic, do what they got to do, move up, mortgage their futures off, and you're going to get a generationally talented player sitting at 8.
Any chance at all? I've said a couple of times, I don't hate the premise if you can get a good deal. If there is a team, New England, Denver, that are getting panicky about a quarterback. Now, we've seen some things. There are some rumors that Trey Lance may now get drafted inside the top 7 before the Panthers are on the clock. But theoretically, if there's a Justin Fields, if there's a Trey Lance, if there's a Mac Jones on the board, and some teams are getting fidgety about jumping up and getting a quarterback, what do I have to offer you as the GM of the Panthers? What do I need to offer you to get you to trade back? What would be the price that you think it's worth to trade back in the draft?
That's a good question. I think it depends where you're trading from, right? So if you're trading from pretty far back, if it's your Patriots, you're sitting at 15, you're trying to trade up to get a Trey Lance. First of all, if it has to be, I think Trey Lance, Mac Jones, it has to be one of those two guys. If Justin Fields is there, I'm taking Justin Fields. I'm not letting anybody else take him. That's just me personally. But if you're taking Trey Lance, you're taking Mac Jones, you got to come up with a couple first rounds. We got to swap picks. You got to give me a 2022 first round, and then I would like to see maybe an additional, maybe a day 2 pick from this year, and maybe another day 2 pick from next year. So you're talking about, and I don't know if this is all possible or feasible. I'm just kind of giving you a hypothetical situation.
Sure.
But give me just 2022 first. Give me a day 2 pick for this year and a day 2 pick for next year. Because again, you remember we traded for Sam Darnold. We gave up a 2nd round pick in 2022. I'd like to recoup some of those picks for next year so we're whole again. So give me some of those picks, day 2 pick 2022, day 2 pick 2021, and a first round pick in 2022, and I think we're all set. I think we're good. I'll trade back.
One more for you, Rashad, before we let you go. Mcconaughey Jr.
Sure.
Came out with his mock draft. He says Devontae Smith, the Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver out of the University of Alabama, would be the guy. I'm intrigued by that because I thought earlier, if Jamar Chase is available there, I think a go wide receiver. Here's a guy from LSU he's familiar with and played for Joe Brady. He's kind of got, he knows the system Brady wants to throw in. Devontae Smith is not a pick that I'm in love with. If you're going to go wide receiver, I think you could trade back and still get a decent one. Maybe not as good as Jamar Smith, but I think there's a chance that Devontae could fall back to the mid-teens, etc. Either way, I think there's so many more position upgrades that Carolina needs ahead of wide receiver. What was your response to Mel Kiper's draft?
Yeah, Devonta Smith, I'm not. I mean, I think he's a great player, but I think this wide receiver class is so deep that I'm not itching to get a wide receiver in that high up. I think I'd have to, Jamar Chase, maybe if he's sitting there, like you said, if Jamar Chase is sitting there at 8, I'd have to strongly consider it. Again, like you said, he knows the system, worked with Joe Brady in the past, so I would definitely consider it there. But I think wide receiver is too deep for me to take one like Devonta Smith that high. I think he's talented, not trying to take anything away from him, but I go a little bit later to take a wide receiver personally.
I love it. Rashad Beard is one of the 2 hosts of the Panthers Nation podcast. You can follow them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC. You can follow them on YouTube. They put up a ton of great content every week. They go live every Monday. Rashad pops up here and there with pro day coverage and interviews and all that. It's phenomenal stuff. It has been my go-to for Panthers coverage. Rashad, again, man, my apologies for being late. I am super sorry, bud, but we get you back in the regular time slot next week. And thank you as always, my man.
Man, anytime, bro.
I love it. Rashad Beard, as always, host of the Panther Nation podcast. Let's take a break. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 2. Lonzo's Fight Club just around the corner at 2:15, and plenty more on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate.
Harley.
Yep.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
One more time, I want to remind you that coming up this Saturday evening at Harley-Davidson of Greenville, 30 Chrome Drive right here in the Ville, there is a free concert starting at 7 o'clock with the Small Town Titans and Blackstone Cherry. They will be playing at Greenville Harley-Davidson, 30 Chrome Drive. The concert starts at 7. Tickets are not available, tickets are not necessary. Not available. I mean, I guess technically they're not necessary. It is a free concert. They will have food and drink available for purchase. Plus, while you're there, check out the beautiful showroom that they have the new 2021 models in. The demo truck is going to be there. So if you've been thinking about jumping on the back of a piece of Americana, this is your chance. Check out the demo truck, check out the showroom, and of course, the largest pre-owned inventory in the entire upstate, ladies and gentlemen. Over 180 bikes to choose from. This is your chance to get yourself on the back of a brand new or pre-owned Harley-Davidson from Harley-Davidson of Greenville, 30 Chrome Drive, concert Saturday night. Check them out online at upstateharley.com. That's upstateharley.com. Oh, man. Your screen froze and it looked like you were asleep.
Screen's not froze. I was just being really still.
Oh, I got you.
And how could I fall asleep during this fine program? I don't get the accusation.
Carefully, cautiously, so you don't fall out of your chair.
Back in high school, I could sleep with my eyes open in physics class. I did that all the time. But it's because of, wrestling practice and football practice was really tough. And, physics was my first 2 periods.
Oh, what can it mean for a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? I bet we'd have like 3,000 people watching the stream every day if I would stop singing.
I disagree. I think we'd have more if you sang more.
Killing me. I'm too old.
I was enjoying the monkeys. It was a good job.
Hey, we're the monkeys. You never know when we'll be found. So you better get ready. Might be coming to your town.
It's not exactly lyrically sound there, but
I haven't seen a Monkeys television show since I was like 2. All right.
You put some extra words in there, but that's all right.
Yeah, it's close enough. I feel like it's close enough to count.
Oh, it was. I mean, you had the tune down and everything. Was down the hall yesterday and mentioned that we discussed their lyrical ability yesterday, and they were in full form yesterday. Some of which I could follow, some I could not. But by the time I left, there were several songs that I went and added to my Spotify.
Was this Stoney and Hendrix?
Yes.
The Stone Man.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Including a large discussion about Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot.
And I have
Edmund Fitzgerald.
Yeah, but he also did Sundown and some other songs like that, which I have forgotten about. And that's what I went and added those. And we talked about Al Stewart, Year of the Cat, the thing that we were talking about yesterday. And they mentioned a couple other songs that I forgot that he had done. So I will never catch up with your amount of songs on your Spotify. But
well, you won't, because I'm never going to stop adding songs. And my Xbox froze mid-game. Super duper. Not make it like baseball game. I'm not like actively playing a game.
30 seconds. Well, I first started doing Spotify just to have something to play in the background while I was playing Diablo 3. And so it was all video game stuff at first and really rocking stuff. Then I just started adding to it after that. And then I got a car where I could actually play it in the car. I was like, whoa, okay, I can pick what I want to hear.
Is game changer, though.
Yes, it is.
Game changer. Say the 2 people who need people to talk terrestrial radio for a living.
X. Dispensing real, unfiltered sports talk every weekday noon to 3. This is the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Thanks again to Rashad Beard of Panther Nation Podcast for joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Upstate. Glad to have him along for the ride. Like I mentioned, he is without a doubt my go-to dude for all things Panthers. You are absolutely going to want to check out his stuff on the YouTubes. Give it a listen. I've been blown away, not just by how talented Rashad is, but he and David, his co-host, I mean, they dive into everything, and it's very impressive how deep they get. So we appreciate Rashad Beard joining us weekly. It is great to have him and all the content he brings to the table. 844-GSP ESPN, 844-477-3776 is the number. 844-GSP ESPN. Text line still open, the Ingles Market text line. Now's your opportunity to send in some texts. We will read them on the air. Tweet us at The Rob Brown Show, at Lonzo on Word, and at ESPN Upstate. All right, so we're going to come back. I don't have enough time to do that, Matthew McConaughey. I've had a couple of people ask, what in the world are you bringing up McConaughey for? I will tell you to start the next hour. Aaron Rodgers, we talked about. Did we play Aaron Rodgers' moment on Jeopardy yesterday, Zoe? I've forgotten completely.
I don't believe you did.
I don't think we did either. All right, so here is a clip. Aaron Rodgers is obviously in the midst of his couple of weeks where he's hosting Jeopardy behind the booth of Alex Trebek. And I'm not going to lie to you, I had a bit of a chuckle when Aaron Rodgers asked this question and got this response from the crowd on Jeopardy. He said optimistically before he realized that his computer was muted and playing the wrong input, and is nope, that is incorrect. Let me try that one more time, Zoe, and I apologize for that scare I just gave you. All right, well, you know what, Zoe, I got to tell you, I'm on the struggle bus solid today.
It sounds haunted. That was
struggle bus solid.
I think we heard something from the demonic world there, and I don't want to hear that again.
Okay, I think I got it. Here's Aaron Rodgers on Jeopardy.
Title for 400. In the 1960s, these Midwesterners earned 5 NFL championship trophies. Green Bay Packers. Dennis, go again. Title for 600. They swept over the NBA, winning the title every year from 1959 to 1966. Eric?
Or the Boston Celtics.
Oh, you know that one, huh?
Okay. Title ways for 800.
So there you go. And I have to tell you, Zoe, that clip was a lot funnier before it took me 3.5 minutes to figure out why I couldn't play it. It was funnier in my head. Whatever. It was funny.
I apologize. It's my fault.
No, no, don't you do that. Don't you tell people that. I screwed that up. It happens all the time. So Rodgers asked, what NFL team was it, this group of Midwesterners that won titles from whatever year it was back in the 50s? The answer was the Green Bay Packers. For those of you who don't know, that's the team that Aaron Rodgers plays for. Anyway, the players did not know the answer. Then they got one around the Boston Celtics. I don't know. So I don't know if you've gotten to watch any of the Jeopardies since Aaron Rodgers has taken over at the helm. It's not bad. He's not bad. I think there's he's probably a little monotone for me, right? Just a little monotone. And I know what he's doing. I know he's trying to keep the excitement level down. He's trying to keep it from getting too out of control.
See, I don't know about that. I've heard him on other programs, and that's just he's got that snarky delivery. Even when he seems angry, I mean, what's he most famous for saying? Relax. And that's what he sounds like he is when he does this stuff.
I think he has a reverence for Jeopardy. Like, I think he's got a respectful reverence. I think that he genuinely cares.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with that, but if he came with too much energy, it would go against what we've had for so long with Jeopardy. So you got to find that in between, I guess, somewhere between Alex Trebek and I don't know, Drew Carey. I don't know. Drew Carey, who hosts The Price is Right. Yeah, so I went with another. I went with another game show. Okay, should I go with Pat Sajak? I don't know.
You just put Alex Trebek in the same category.
No. What I talked about was the energy that Aaron Rodgers needs to come with has to be somewhere between those. That's all. That's all. I'm not comparing who's better. Obviously, Alex Trebek, the greatest of all time. Drew Carey, not so much.
When I think pantheon of great sports talk hosts, I think Drew Carey.
I think Richard Dawson, but, I'm old.
All right, 844-GSP-ESPN, 844-477-3776 is the number. Text us at 71307 on the Ingalls Market text line. It is open for you in the next hour of the show. We run through a couple of news topics to start off the hour. Zoe takes us through Lonzo's Fight Club in the second segment of the show, and then we'll have a little fun on the way out the door on a Thursday. Thanks again to Rashad Beard for joining us. Quick break. No, wait, I got to get you money. There it goes. Let's get you some money. Your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. The keyword for this upcoming hour is fun. Fun, F-U-N. Text that keyword to 72881, 72881. Powered by BetQL. Let BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Text and data rates may apply. Text FUN, F-U-N, to 72881 for your chance to win $1,000 in the $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Back after this to finish up the show on ESPN Upstate. I'm struggling today, Lonzo.
Pull it together, Rob Brown.
I'm struggling today, man. I don't know what's going on with me. I'll be right back. I guess I'll wait till the next break. Only got 2 minutes.
You can't even leave when you're saying you're leave. What's going on, man?
Well, I need to hit the restroom, but
Yeah, not much time here.
No. I don't know what's going on, man. I just feel like I can't stay not that I can't focus. I feel like I just can't stay focused. You know what I mean?
I think part of it is looking at me on the screen and realizing how beautiful my hair is. And I have that problem with people. So sometimes I have to put it up like I did because it's distracting. Right. And I apologize. It's all my fault.
I'm just glad to hear you admit it, man. Thanks.
I take pride in it being my fault. Did you see what Stathakis put up on Twitter?
I did.
That's hilarious. There's a couple of those outside the door because there always is a family of those here.
I'm sorry that you are trapped.
Well, when I got out of my car this morning, they were eyeing me, and I eyed them back like, bring it.
Man,
I'm wearing slides, but I'll take them off.
Man, I had a goose. For those of you watching the stream that don't know, Stathakis is sending us pictures from his round of golf where he is being... Actually, it looks like he is following around the geese, if we're being honest, Stathakis. It looks like he is the antagonizer.
I bet he could cook a goose. I'm just saying.
That's true. I don't know if I've ever eaten goose, to tell you the truth. I don't think I have.
I think maybe I have when I was a teenager. I had a friend whose mom would cook, duck and that type of stuff. So I probably have. She also cooked shark before and swordfish.
Shark's delicious.
Yeah, it's the skin is it's weird.
The key to shark, you have to marinate shark for a very long time because
Warning.
Man, check this out.
You're on official Rob Brown lockdown.
Represents being real.
Yeah, that's what's been wrong with me all this time.
Sports talk manufactured locally for the Carolinas.
Lockdown.
This is the Rob Brown Show.
Yeah.
Only on ESPN.
ESPN Upstate.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, the third and final Best of Money Hour of the Rob Brown Show gets its start right now on ESPN Upstate. What's happening, y'all? Great to be with you. I am Rob Brown. Lonzo, the great one, the Alpha and the Omega of Sports Talk Radio. He, of course, is Colonel Grudge, the conductor of the Symphony of Sound that is the Rob Brown Show. Hashtag Dad Kicks. So, third hour, man. We got this. Listen to that enthusiasm.
I got this. Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
I'm
today.
good. I'm ready to go. I mean,
I'm struggling today, dude.
I had some hating going on earlier. That's got me revved up and ready to finish up this last hour. I know the text line's been going crazy, including someone who questioned the fact that I've been here 21 years, been in the building 21 years, but I've been at ESPN since the beginning and until the end, the Alpha and the Omega.
Respect. I have not been here 21 years. I have crossed the 1 year mark, though. It's a year and a month deep at this point. I feel like,
hardest year of radio in a long time, and you made it through.
True story. Fingers crossed we do it again. All right, so a couple of things I wanted to get into. This one, I don't do this very often, Lonzo. I don't do a segment very often that's just for me, but I'm about to. Because Matthew McConaughey, all right, is I got to tell you, I like the dude. He's a tough guy. Not to like is Matthew McConaughey. I think he's done some fantastic movies in the past. I think he's played some tremendous characters. I think he's played some very creepy characters. But he has, Lonzo, and I think you would appreciate this. McConaughey kind of has a zest for life, man. He's like one of those cats that just seems to enjoy life. Well,
yeah, the rumor of him being naked on the front lawn playing bongos, I don't know if that's real or not, but we've heard that quite a bit.
Zest for life, Lonzo.
That would be zest for life right there, I'm thinking.
Matthew McConaughey has gotten very into sports in Texas. He has been named he has been involved with the Texas Longhorn football program for many years. It doesn't seem to be like an overbearing celebrity where it's like, I'm famous, so I know what to do. All right. Like he just helps out. He just helps the image and all that. Well, we've been talking about how fortunate we are to have the Greenville Triumph, and now we are getting a team right up the road in Charlotte. Well, Austin, Texas, has been awarded a club now as well. Austin FC is the 27th active MLS franchise. They play their first match this Saturday away at LAFC. Then on June 19th, they play their first home game against San Jose. Well, Matthew McConaughey is a part owner. Yesterday, we were talking about the soccer culture in the country with Marion Cole, the director of public relations for the Triumph. Well, we talked about the soccer community growing and grabbing a bigger chunk of the market share out of people who have never been soccer fans before. But as I've told you guys many times, the key to me is to introduce you, to teach you, to show you about a game that you may not be uber familiar with. Matthew McConaughey is a part owner for Austin FC, and his titles, though, I got to tell you, McConaughey is competing with you for the best nicknames in the game. The title that Matthew McConaughey carries, Lonzo, as an owner of Austin FC is the, quote, Minister of Culture, end quote.
Yeah, I like that.
Minister of Culture. So this morning, Matthew McConaughey went on SportsCenter and talked a little bit about the MLS, his love for soccer, etc. I'm only going to play a minute or two of it, but I want you to listen to it because I want you to hear how he talks about soccer. And I'm telling you, as we watch soccer continue to grow, we saw the partnership that was signed yesterday between South Carolina and the MLS, big step. The success of the Greenville Triumph, big step. The MLS putting a team in Charlotte right up the road, big step. The Charleston Battery over on the other side of the state have been doing big things the last couple of years, big step. Soccer is doing well. Here's Matthew McConaughey.
FC Austin Matthew Mcconaughey joining us now. Matthew, how many titles and hobbies do you need?
Yeah, as my friend says, as I'm telling myself, I might need to start trimming the mullet here soon. I'm choosing things that are a little more than hobbies now. Like this Austin FC co-ownership. This is not a hobby. I'm trying to make legacy choices, things that I want to do, hopefully 50 years from now if I'm alive, things that I want to hand down to my children to shepherd along the way. You can have too many, but Austin FC is definitely one that I'm committed to, and I hope is something I can hand off to my kids.
Yeah, what led to that? What led to you becoming a part owner?
Well, you marry a Brazilian woman, you get a little more soccer injected into your American blood. Then you travel the world, as my job takes me all over the world. I got 3 children. Well, what's the one game that's in town all over the planet, wherever you are, whether it's in rural outside of Reykjavik or Cape Town or New York or Cleveland or Cambodia or the Bahamas? The soccer ball, the greatest invitation in the world. There's always that game is always in town. So my kids picked it up. And when we got back home, they continued to play. So that, along with all of a sudden, boy, MLS is coming on. Mm-hmm. Austin, Texas is ripe. It's already a soccer city. Even before FC's here, we've been at the top of the viewership of World Cups in the past before soccer clubs even here. This town is ripe for it. Oh, Austin FC, let's build a team. A friend of mine, Eduardo, who was an owner, invites me in to become a part owner. I jump at the chance, and here I am. Yeah, you'd mentioned it there, and it kind of answers the next question because you know Austin as well as anyone. So what kind of reaction do you expect and support that this franchise is going to get? Feverish. It's the city's got its fangs out for the game of football, and to have a team. Now, this is the first time Austin will have a team that represents its city. It's the first time Austinites will be able to root for our great city. We've always had the University of Texas. It's always been the game in town. We've never had a pro team in town. Now we have our first, Austin FC. Also, Austin is already very diverse, already multicultural. What's the game of soccer? It's the international game that is more diverse than any other game. So soccer people were already had a fever for soccer here, and now we got a team. Now they have somewhere they can hang their hat, hang their badge, travel around the world and talk to the banker in London and the cab driver in Lagos about our home team in Austin, Texas. And how do we bring Austin to soccer? That's going to be a lot of fun, and our own style of play and what our in-game experience is. I got to tell you, though, love McConaughey anyway. Love the guy anyway. But hearing Tim talk about soccer and hearing that passion for his soccer team and about this team he started and about the game itself and the background of the game and getting his family involved and all that, man, I got to tell you, I know a lot of people are still trying to tell me soccer is not the future. It's not growing. It's never going to catch on. But you get more folks like Matthew McConaughey involved, you're going to have a hard time pushing back against that sport, man.
I will just say I will definitely give soccer a chance if Matthew McConaughey takes me to a game and, sits there and explains it to me while we're watching.
Well, here's what I'll do for you, Zoe. You can come with me to a game, and I look just like Matthew McConaughey. So it's pretty much the same thing, man. Pretty much the same thing. I'm just saying. All right, quick break. We come back. Let's get Fight Club. Your home for all things combat sports, MMA, boxing, professional wrestling. Zoe walks us through Fight Club next on The Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
QC Kinetics.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your computer and tablet at ESPNUpstate.com.
Okay, check it. Knee, shoulder, elbow, wrist, ankle, lower back, hip, arthritis, carpal tunnel, finger, toe, foot, hand, nerves, plantar fasciitis, tendonitis, sciatica, tendon, ligament, muscles. Do you have pain in any of those things or because of any of those things? It's a long list, I know. So chances are you do. And if you don't, you will, because all of those things are caused by aging as you wear and tear out your body, the tissue inside of your joints that prevents the inflammation, prevents the swelling, prevents the pain. It begins to wear down. And if you are like me, you are going to get told at some point, hey, Rob, you have the knees of a 60-year-old man and a 36-year-old body. You are gonna need surgery. Well, that's why I'm partnered with QC Kinetics, because there is a better alternative. QC Kinetics uses science-based non-surgical regenerative therapies to restore the tissue that prevent the pain, to help your body rebuild and make maximally efficient the processes that rebuild that tissue for you. And it works. Go to their website, qckinetics.com. You can see testimonials from dozens and dozens and dozens of QC Kinetics patients who have had the non-surgical regenerative therapy and are very happy with it. Or give them a call right now at 864-448-3772. 864-448-3772. Tell them the Rob Brown Show sent you. Get that free consultation set up and get to feeling better, faster, naturally with our friends at QC Kinetics.
AutomotiveMap.com.
Keegan just threw something up there that I already saw, and I'm going to talk about this first thing. She's not the only one who was released.
Did we have a Bloody Thursday today?
Just 2 so far, but one I'm going to leave it as you can wait 5 minutes or you can look it up yourself.
Okay. I'm going to wait. I'm going to let you surprise me.
Because I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked. And I'm not trying to crack because I know you're having a bad day and everything, but it's sciatica. Sciatica sounds like a Latin American singer.
Yeah,
I think she's opening up for Shakira this summer. I'm not quite sure.
If Shakira's on tour, I absolutely will be going to watch it. Shakira. $5 says that. Well, I don't know. I was gonna say $5 that we have the same number one announcing team, but I don't know if you and I would agree.
I don't think we will.
No,
I really don't think we will.
Who do you think mine's gonna be? I won't tell you if you're right.
I don't want to speculate. I want to have this conversation on the air. Not that I don't appreciate the streaming audience, but
we just don't want you guys to get any bonus content. That's all.
Well, you're getting plenty of bonus content.
Ben says, "In which B movie do you look like McConaughey?" Dude, look at this. Look just like the guy.
You took the hat off, let the hair go.
I am letting the hair go. I can't do it right now.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, if you released it at this moment, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God.
Spider from School of Rock is now a defense attorney in Texas. Keegan, why do you know where the good defense attorneys are?
It's good to be prepared. I'm seeing some other wrestlers unhappy with the other release. I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet because it's trending.
I saw a release from AEW yesterday.
Oh, who'd they release? Who'd they release?
I forgot her name because she's only wrestled a couple times. Illa Sante, whatever. She wrestled with Diamante for a while.
Okay.
She's not. I mean, it wasn't like a huge thing.
Momentum builds with skills and fast breaks, and is proven by key creators like shot practice. Momentum is how we change the game.
Yeah, you're going to disagree with probably my entire list, so that's fine. 20 seconds.
20 seconds.
Enough to beat me.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. The double champ does what the he wants.
How about that?
Welcome into the Fight Club. The intro is really, really relevant today because, a couple of the guys on there have been in the news this week, and one of them's actually been on TV. We're going to talk about that a little bit. But first of all, breaking news from the WWE. They have released a couple of wrestlers. One of them is Mickie James, which is not really a surprise. They haven't used her that much lately. But the other one is Billie Kay. And
they released Billie Kay?
Told you.
What
I told
the
you.
hell?
I told you you'd be shocked.
Are you serious?
Billie Kay, when the Iconics split up, it looked like she would be the one that would flounder. She would be the one that would be gone really quickly. But she managed with her resume and the 8x10 photo, she managed to turn to the comedy portion of wrestling, and she did a great job. She just wrestled in WrestleMania. Peyton Royce didn't wrestle in WrestleMania, but Billie Kay did, and Billie Kay was just released like about, 10 minutes ago.
So, how do you fumble Billie Kay? She listen, I thought the same thing. I thought she was going to be the one. They clearly split them up so that Peyton could get some run. For whatever reason, Vince was more on Peyton.
Well, there was...
At one point, Lonzo, I was more on Peyton's side than Billie Kay's too. I'm like, kind of annoying, kind of my thing. And that's just not my thing. And every time she came out with the headshot and the resume, I fell in love with it.
Billie Kay went through controversy like a year or so ago where one of the guys said she wasn't pretty enough, and it was there was a lot of people there.
Controversy.
Yeah.
Dude doesn't think she's hot. Oh, controversy.
Yeah, but it was someone within the company, and a lot of people came out in support of her and things like that. And I am completely shocked. I will say one thing, and I hope this happens. I hope she goes to AEW because I think she could teach. She's a pretty good wrestler, and she's a great character. I think she could shore up or help them to start building that women's locker room over there and show them how it's done. Whether you think she's a great wrestler or not, she's a very good tag team wrestler, and she also has got an excellent character. I mean, I hope she shows up over there. I do. Mickie James that's not so much of a surprise because she's been around for a really long time. She could show up over there too, but she's got to be near the end of her career.
She's more impact ready than A-Dub. Here's all I got for you, Zoe. I got to tell you, man, I've been contemplating taking a little break from WWE, to tell you the truth. Raw to me is pointless. I have no reason to watch Raw at all. Rollins and Cesaro are pretty much it over on Raw. Other than that, it's just the same story.
They're on SmackDown.
Or SmackDown. Sorry, yes. I was going to. SmackDown's the reason. I'll watch SmackDown. I'll keep watching SmackDown. I'm taking a break from Raw. SmackDown and NXT, and honestly, even segments of SmackDown. I don't know, man. It's kind of dumb that I would get this upset over one female wrestler. But Billie Kay was one of the few bright spots that they've had recently, and they let her go for what?
Yeah, I'm completely surprised. All right, let's get into what a question I sent you earlier, and this is: what is the best wrestling announced team of all time? Your top five. Your top five. Now, should we go my fifth, your fifth, or just each of us do our top five?
We can. I don't know. It's your segment. You tell me. I'm here to skate this segment, though.
Which you might need today. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a matter of opinion. All right, let's just go with. Let's do this. I'll do my fifth. You do your fifth. Let's do it that way because I'm curious if there's going to be any crossover here. Now, my number 5 team is going to make some people mad. It's going to shock some people, and you're going to be like, why? But my number 5 team is Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton. And here's the reason why. And what brought this up, first of all, before we get into this, was the fact that WWE decided to put Adnan Virk on the Raw announce team, and dude doesn't know anything about wrestling. And it's just bad. It's bad. It's like having me call a hockey game. Even though I kind of know some hockey, I would totally screw it up. This guy does not know who the wrestlers are. He doesn't know the moves. He was not prepared, and he might get better. But because of that, it made me think of who are the best ones of all time. And the reason why I like Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton is because Cole, I think, calls a good match, but the heat between Saxton and Corey Graves, even though Corey gets pretty mean sometimes. I thought it was entertaining. So that's my number 5. What's your number 5?
Number 5 for me. Guy never gets enough credit. Had some incredible segments. Had the ability to work heel, face, whatever. The one-man band Joey Styles back in the EC Dub days, though. Joey Styles. It's hard to make a one-man commentary team. I tell you, I've done some shows where I've been by myself on commentary. It ain't easy. Joey Styles made it look that way. And then, of course, he had the I Quit segment from WWE, which was great back in the day. I'll take a little Joey Styles action. Joey Styles by himself, Lonzo.
I will say the thing about Joey Styles in small doses, I'm good, but after a while, to me, it got a little old. And I put him in the same vein as Mauro Ranallo, and I'm sure that you will probably have him somewhere in yours. I don't know. Yeah, which was very entertaining at first, and after a while, it's like, dude, you're trying too hard. Stop. Anyway, so my number 4 is back in the day, Tony Schiavone and Bobby the Brain Heenan. Now, I will also tell you that Bobby's going to show up somewhere else on my list. But Schiavone and Heenan worked good no matter where he was, no matter who he was with. He is the best, in my opinion, the best heel sidekick, whatever, on the announce team, because that dude was just so entertaining and so good. He was good as a manager, but he was so good on the mic, just his cuts here and there. And I just really enjoyed Bobby the Brain Heenan. And I've always liked Schiavone.
I'll tell you right now, Bobby the Brain Heenan is also on my list and may or may not be on it multiple times. One other guy who may or may not be on it multiple times, I'll let you guess which one of the two it is. I'm going back to the OG WCW days. How about Schiavone and good old JR together? So Schiavone and JR, I think you got a little. Schiavone kind of brought that more realistic journalist style of things. JR, well, he's good old JR, man, and he's still going to yell and scream. They have reunited at AEW, which I am in love with. It's just one more reason that AEW connects. But I'll go old school WWE. Schiavone and JR at number 4, Zoe.
Okay, and I don't hate that. I don't. My number 3 is Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler. And you know what? If you want to see Jerry Lawler, by the way, Jerry the King Lawler, he's going to be at South Carolina Comic-Con Saturday and Sunday. And I've heard tell that if there's a possibility and more than likely a chance that he will be on this here program tomorrow. That's what I've heard.
Not saying, just saying.
That's what I've heard.
Not saying, just saying.
So if he is, hopefully he's listening and wondering why he isn't higher on my list. But just the chemistry between Lawler and Jim Ross, excellent. Loved that portion of WWE for that, however many years that was really good with both of them on there. And that's another one of those when they remove Lawler and it's like, why did they do that? You know, and I think when they removed him the first time, they put Paul Heyman in there, which is not bad, but it's still chemistry-wise was never as good as it could be. So that is my number 3, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler.
Not mad about good old JR getting multiple spots on here. I, unlike you, Zoe, I loved Mauro Ranallo. I thought Mauro was phenomenal.
I didn't say I hated him. I just think he became a caricature of himself later on.
I don't. I think that he was very appropriate in the times and places that he elected to lose his mind over moves. I thought he did. You can do that too much. You can oversell those moves. You can get to the point where it's like, guy does a clothesline, Mamma Mia! Like, no, that's supposed to be reserved for the moments of where you know JR would go, oh my God, he's dead. Yeah, those are Mauro moments.
As God is my witness.
Yes. I thought that he was very consistent with that. And of all the people he's worked with, I paired him. I got to tell you, I was not a big Nigel McGuinness fan. I thought Nigel was easily the lesser talented of the two on the mic. But when you put Nigel next to Mauro and kind of let him be the heel, he seemed a little bit more comfortable in that role, and I appreciated it. So I'll go Nigel and Mauro at number 3.
It was 3, yes. All right, number 2, Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan.
That's your number two?
That's my number two. Listen, I'm a lot older than you, so I appreciate the old days, but maybe that's your number one. Maybe that's why you're looking at me that way. So, and this is not the first time Gorilla Monsoon will be in my countdown. So I will tell you he's also number one, but with a different person. But Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan, again, like I talked about earlier, Heenan was a genius on the mic with what he was able to do, and he's one of those guys who had chemistry with everybody. But there was something about Gorilla Monsoon calling a match, and maybe this also goes back to sitting there watching wrestling with my papa. I don't know, but there's something about Gorilla Monsoon that I think he is one of, if not the best in the business. That's my number two.
I gotta go Attitude Era for my number two. JR and Jerry the King. Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross together during the Attitude Era, calling those Rock and Stone Cold matches and all that. And of course, where would wrestling be if it wasn't for Jerry the King making tons upon tons, Lonzo, of completely inappropriate and unacceptable comments, but doing them as puns so that he could get away with it. And then
how many do you think he will make on these airwaves tomorrow?
I have no idea. I got to tell you, I'm a bit apprehensive about it. It's Jerry the King.
Well, I need to push the button. I don't know.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah, we're gonna take a chance though.
So I've got, of course, Jerry the King and JR together on commentary. The Attitude Era, man, they called some of the most iconic moments in professional wrestling history. Yeah, there's my number two.
All right, so my number one is Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body Ventura. I really love Jesse the Body Ventura. Maybe not so much in his political era because he kind of went off the tinfoil way in some ways, but I think just his delivery, the fact that he absolutely hated Hulk Hogan, which I thought was hilarious. When I would watch, I wanted to see those two together, especially Jesse the Body. I just think him and Gorilla were perfect together.
Number one, I'm glad we're very close. We've got some crossover here. Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan is easily number one to me. So this is the only one on the list that when you asked me to put down five, I immediately wrote down number one and did not have to think about it. When Jesse the Body Ventura left and they paired Gorilla up with the Brain went from one of the top heel managers, maybe the top heel manager of all time, and moved over to be right next to the babyface loving Gorilla Monsoon. Look, Bobby the Brain Heenan, as far as I'm concerned, Zoe, and this is me being a I don't know, whatever you want to call me. Bobby the Brain Heenan was the greatest mic worker of all time. He's better than Heyman. And of course, this is back when it was far more cheesy. Heyman, I think, is probably a more believable bad guy on the mic. But when Bobby the Brain was on the mic, the breakup of the Rockers, who could have done that better? All of these great turns and moments that Bobby the Brain was in charge of, that he just made you hate him. He just made you think he was a little weasel. And every now and then, Zoe, they'd put him in the ring and they'd dress him up and they'd let a good guy kick his head in, and the crowd would lose its mind because nobody deserved it more than Bobby the Brain. He's my number one at everything, Lonzo.
See, it would seem like that our lists are so different, but they're not. I mean, we're interchangeables, ones and twos, and we're very, very close. So I am surprised that you went old school with Gorilla Monsoon, and I'm pretty happy about that. Now the question is, who is the best team today? And I'm going to surprise you with who I like the most right now. And that would be the NXT announced team. And it grew on me because at first I didn't like Beth there, but I think Beth, once she got back in the arena, and let's face it, once they added Barrett, I think it became golden. I like that group. I think they're very good. I think they gel really well together, and I think they're better. Now, I figure you're going to go with AEW, but there's a problem with AEW, but you go right ahead.
I kind of want you to tell me the problem first.
The problem is that it's time for JR to go. I'm good with Shivani. I'm good with Excalibur. Hey, add Don Callis as your third, or especially add Chris Jericho. You're good. But I think Jim Ross and Shivani together is too much now, and it's almost like Shivani gets thrown to the going out and interviewing other wrestlers and things like that.
That's why they have three, though. That's why I think they have Excalibur in there too. By having Excalibur there, you can send Shivani out to do the Sting call out and take an interview from Jericho and all that. I think that's exactly why. And I think they have three to lighten the load on JR, so he can still be JR but take a deep breath here and there. But I honestly, I'm not going to say that I have a problem with you taking the NXT crew. I love Bad News Barrett. I thought Bad News Barrett deserved a far better send-off from his WWE days than he ultimately got. I think Beth has gotten much better. When Beth Phoenix showed up back in the arena, though, there were about 3 weeks where I was like, oh, this is bad. This is not good. Beth is just not.
Yeah, same here. Like I said, she grew on me, and it was especially difficult during COVID because of the delay, and we know what that's like, and we completely understand that. But when she got back, and her and Barrett and Vic Joseph together, just right now, to me, they're the best.
I would. I don't have an issue with the call. In fact, I'm 50-50 between they and the AEW tub. I'll tell you that. If I could create a dream team right now, I got to tell you, I thought that the lineup of Cole, Graves, and Samoa Joe could have been great. How is Samoa Joe not getting more love for his work? He has really come on. Corey, as kind of the sarcastic heel guy, I think has been very good. I got to tell you, and I'm interested to watch him on Monday and see if Adnan gets better. But if he doesn't, and I feel bad for the kid, but if he doesn't get better on Monday, he may have a grand total of 2 days behind the mic.
He might. We have seen him pull the plug before. And do you know, because I don't, who's going to be the announce crew for Friday night? Is Corey going to be on both shows now? Or
yeah, Corey has been working both shows. I'm assuming that it'll be Graves. I'm assuming it'll be Cole and Joe over there as well, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, let's get a phone call in here real quick before we take a break. Bill is on the line. Let's get Bill in here before we hit our break. Bill, welcome to the show, bud. Thanks for taking a minute. Great to have you.
I'm going to give you my top five. I would have to go Heenan and Monsoon top. Then JR and Lawler, Heenan and Shivani. And then they didn't last long. I'd say Gordon Soley and Roddy Piper together. And for old school fans around here, you couldn't beat Bob Cole and David Crockett.
Don't hate that. Well done, Bill. Thank you very much. That's not an awful list. Roddy Piper, I would say though, more famous for the Piper's Pit than the play-by-play color commentary role. Next week we'll have to do best wrestler-led talk show segments. I'm going Piper's Pit number one, Zoe. Hands down.
Well, you kind of, if you actually were going to do that, you just kind of gave away your answer. Why would you do that?
Because it wasn't going to be anything but obvious before we got there anyway.
Okay. Not even a tease there. Well, that's not mine. So that is a tease.
Who's the best backstage interviewer of all time, though? There's only one answer for this.
I don't know. You give me your answer.
Mean Gene, brother.
Okay.
Let me tell you something. Mean Gene Okerlund was the best at everything.
Oh, I completely agree. And I've watched some behind the scenes stuff and finding out how much improv Mean Gene actually did.
I would assume all of it.
Yeah, and his dry delivery, so good. So good.
Mean Gene, brother. Love Mean Gene. All right, brother.
I'm guessing Mark Ryan really loved this segment.
Oh, I have no doubt. But if Mark Ryan wants to say something about it, he can come say it to my face. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk about something else. I don't know what it's going to be.
I lost it. I lost the bass in my voice. It started going away. Quick break. We're back after this. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's ESPN Upstate.
Your chance to bank $1,000 in the $1,000 cash stash is coming just before SportsCenter at the top of the hour. Listen for the keyword and you could
Alyssa, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You can hear me. So we are good.
I can also hear her.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know who else could hear us? Mark Ryan on his way to location.
Listen here, Mark Ryan. If you got something to say, you can say it to me.
Like, I feel like it starts at a 90% impression, and then 3 sentences in as it drops down to like a 50% impression.
Imagine how hard it had to be for him to do that all the time.
Oh, yeah. The cream rises to the top.
Your voice gives out after a minute.
Yeah. He probably had some extra to help him out, like some sort of alcohol or something, I'm guessing, possibly.
1,000 cigarettes a day.
Could have been that.
Poor Billy Kay. She deserves so much better.
I know it shouldn't bother me the way it does, but it really does bother me. Because
you saw who else got released?
No.
Tucker, Caliso, and Wesley Blake.
All right, Tucker, not a surprise. When they split them up, you knew he was. I mean, when's the last time you saw him?
Yeah.
Caliso, he hasn't really been on that much. And who was the last one?
Wesley Blake.
Was that the? That was the guy.
He was. Actually, he's the one that's married to Alexa. I think he's married to Alexa.
And we didn't get to that. I was going to talk about that, but about Alexa's explanation on Raw. Did you see it?
I did see it.
And I'm curious as to what you thought about that.
I thought that they are telling the single most predictable explanatory story that they can come up with to try to save their ass for wasting a WrestleMania match. That's what I think. I think they went on the internet and they were like, "Oh, guys, we screwed up. So what? Oh, let's make Alexa stronger than the Fiend now."
So you don't think this was a long haul decision that they already had this planned out? Because I kind of do.
If they did, it was a dumb decision.
It could be a dumb decision, but I don't think it was spur of the moment. I think that's what they planned and they thought it would go differently. But again, fans for the first time in a year, you do that, you don't know how it's going to go.
Have you seen the picture, though? Have you seen the picture of the when it came out and they had the "Let Me In" lights? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was drones, dude. That was drones floating. There's a really. Let me see if I can find it.
Was it really?
Yeah, there's a really kick-ass picture of the drones flying above the stadium. See if I can find it. That started going up on Twitter.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out why is Peyton Royce trending. Did they release her too?
Well, I'm sure people just connected the two of them.
Well, I didn't realize that Peyton Royce was married to Sean Spears, according to somebody.
Yes, I did know that, actually. Oh, come on. Give me a better picture. Well, I'll show you. This is from the backside. Actually, let me see if I can.
1 minute. You have an upstate golf cart in the next break.
Today's word is gremlin. Is a gremlin an unknown and persistent mechanical issue? Or is it something large that gets caught in your teeth when you ride with your mouth open? As in...
Man, I'm getting gremlins in my teeth. See?
Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
30 seconds.
All right, so here you go. Here's a couple of them, the drone shots. They're not great, but there's Bianca's lips they threw up.
Wow.
There's "Let Me In" from the backside of the stadium. There you go. There's a really good picture of it from the backside of the stadium.
Oh, no way.
Isn't that cool?
How hard would that be to do?
There's Sasha's sunglasses when she came out. And the EST logo.
Oh, that is cool. I didn't realize it was drones.
Right.
All right, come back.
More than the scores, the ups and downs, the ins and outs. Real, unfiltered sports talk. It's the Rob Brown Show on ESPN Upstate.
Ben said about my Macho Man impression that the best part of that impression is when it's over.
Do you disagree with him? I don't. I thought it was pretty good. I really did. You're right. It tapers off, but it's hard to hold that for a long period of time.
And real quick, we're not going to spend. Well, this is a short segment here because we got to get back on the clock. Just kill the Fiend. Just kill Alexa's character. I'm done with the story. I'm over it. It's too bad. It's my favorite character. Just stop. You killed it. It's pointless now. Oh, she's stronger because he abandoned her. He didn't abandon her. He got lit on fire.
I like the angle. Apparently, you just don't understand the supernatural and how that works. And that's fine. Not everybody gets that sort of thing. So I could explain it to you. Sometime. It would take a little bit of time though, especially because you're not having a good day today. So it'd be kind of hard to get it through there. I'm not going to apologize for taking advantage of a bad day. It's what I do.
The story's stupid. I hate it. Kill it off. Let Bray go back and be just something else again. I don't know what to say. And now my own producer is just absolutely dumping on me today. What a day! South Carolina, what a day! Unbelievable.
It's all for the entertainment, yo.
Unbelievable. And now the Braves are winning. Okay. Well, the Braves were losing a second ago, but at least I got the Braves going for me. 5-4, bottom of the seventh. But as the Braves have shown in 3 out of 3 games against the Marlins so far, they will absolutely find a way to screw this game up and lose it. I'll have a breakdown for you tomorrow. Quick break back after this. Twitter trending topics to wrap up the show on the Rob Brown Show. This is ESPN Upstate.
Golf card.
Yep.
The Rob Brown Show. Listen on your Amazon or Google smart speaker. Just say, play ESPN Upstate.
The best deal for golfers in the entire Upstate is back with the 2021 Upstate Golf Card. It's on sale now. Spring is in the air, and your golf balls need to be too. The best deal for golfers is better than ever. $99 gets you over $450 worth of golf. That's over a 75% discount. Ladies and gentlemen, that's less than $1 a hole to play at 9 prestigious Upstate golf courses. And you can get as many as you want. Supplies are limited. You can get as many as you want until we run out. But get them before we run out. Now, go to upstategolfcard.com or check them out on Facebook or the Gram to learn more. See the courses. Get yourself set up. Buy them for you. Buy them for your friends. Get yourself set up with the best way to spend spring on the golf course with the 2021 Upstate Golf Card. Our pleasure, Ben. Thanks for hanging out with us, bud. Great to have you. Mars ain't the kind of place to raise a kid. I really should stop singing on the screen. I apologize to all of you. I really do. Live stream karaoke. We should do a live stream karaoke contest one day, Zoe.
I'm down for that. Obviously, you've heard me sing on there before, so I don't care. I'm the only concern with that is there's just a little bit of a delay.
Yeah, true.
So the best songs to do are slow songs because you can get away with, it being a little laggy. The fast stuff, you're gonna miss just enough where it will throw you off.
I think we both have to run our own music.
Yeah, there's that. Well, that's a way around it.
Yeah.
But the only problem is it's also doing it on stream is kind of hard. Because of music, will it get flagged or not?
Oh yeah, that's true. I don't know. Never mind. We shouldn't do it. I don't feel like thinking about it.
Just don't pick a Disney song and we're probably golden, I would say.
But those are the only songs I know.
So you're not going to be able to sing the song from Pocahontas, and I know you want to.
Can you paint with all the colors of the wind?
30 seconds.
Was there another song from Pocahontas? I think that was the only one. I know that there was.
Savages, barely even human.
That was terrible.
Yeah. I only sang that because you requested it.
Yeah, no, I did not.
Yeah, you did.
I asked if there was another song.
Well, I don't know the name of the song.
Twitter trending topics.
All right, it is time for Twitter trending topics. When I tell Rob what is trending, he will tell us all what he knows about it. The first one, I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, so I'm just going to say Samoa Joe is trending.
Oh, please don't have fired Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe is trending.
They released Samoa Joe?
They released Samoa Joe. And now Rob's journey is complete. The WWE is no more for him.
I don't understand, Lonzo. I don't understand. Help me to understand why your company keeps doing dumb things.
Yeah, they're not my company.
Explain to me why your company keeps doing dumb things.
Well, here's probably the thing. He can't wrestle without getting hurt. And although he's pretty good on the mic, he wasn't hired for that. So maybe that has something to do with it. And maybe by releasing him, they make room for someone else on the roster that's more capable of being in the ring. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he was
braved the elements for you at WrestleMania. He put on a poncho for you.
He did.
And you release him a week later?
Yeah, this is pretty bad, but budget cuts and things.
Yeah.
Whoa.
They were more profitable during the pandemic than they were out of it. Don't get me with the profits.
I don't know who number 42 is for the Braves. That's a big dude.
I'm in commercial break, so I'm not watching it.
Yeah, that's a big boy. I'm not going to say, well, I got a program that could help him out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, first off, they're all wearing 42s, I think, because it's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Jackie Robinson. Yeah.
My bet is you're looking at either Pablo Sandoval or Marcelo Zuna. Was he like a really big fat guy?
He hit
a home run?
Yeah.
Pablo Sandoval.
Yeah.
Panda.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes absolute sense. He is a large individual, and I hadn't seen that before. But he moves pretty quick after he hits the ball. I mean,
relatively speaking,
for his size.
Relatively speaking,
you could say for his size. He's probably got a good career in WWE. I hear there's an opening. Too soon?
You're a jerk, Lonzo.
Too soon.
You're a jerk.
All right, the next thing trending is Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster is trending. I do not know why. I am hoping that finally, somebody will tell Ticketmaster and all of the other ticket sites to stop charging $10,000 extra worth of service fees for a ticket. There's nothing that drives me crazier, though, than when I get on and they go, tickets are on sale, $50 for a concert. And I'm like, hell yeah, $50, I'll pay for that. And then I go purchase buy, and they're like, $50 plus $900 in service fees to get your tickets delivered to you. And then, Zoe, have the audacity for one of those service fees to go and email the ticket to you service fee. You're charging me $10 to email me the tickets instead of print it out, shipping it, delivering it, etc. You're charging me $10 to email it. Quit. Get out.
Fees, son, fees. No, here's why they're trending. They're trending because 10 minutes before the Bad Bunny pre-sale was about to happen, Ticketmaster crashed. And apparently there are a lot of Bad Bunny fans out there, and they're very angry that Ticketmaster crashed.
Sorry, I think you meant Mr. WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I should have said there's a WWE tie-in here. But yeah. So fresh off his victory at WrestleMania, where he stole the show and got so many more fans because of it that had not heard of Bad Bunny's music.
True that.
They caused Ticketmaster crashed. They're not saying why, but it crashed 10 minutes before the tickets went on sale. Which
I'd go see him. I'm not going to lie. Like, I've heard some of his stuff. A lot of it obviously has got a very Latin influence to it. I'm a big fan of.
This is very yesterday, but looking at the lyrics probably wouldn't help you out. I'm just saying.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Hey, you may be bilingual, multilingual. I don't know.
I am not.
Okay, me either. All right, the next thing trending is LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah, this one actually is kind of a sad story. LaMarcus Aldridge, remember, he just a couple of weeks ago ended up in Brooklyn. He has announced that he is retiring from the league. Put an open letter up on social media that said that last night was his last game. Said he has been dealing with an irregular heartbeat. He said that later after his game last night, the rhythm of his heart got even worse, which worried him deeply. He said the next morning, I told the team what was going on, and they were great getting me to the hospital and getting me checked out, though I'm better now. What I felt with my heart that night was still one of the scariest things I've experienced. With that being said, I made the difficult decision to retire from the NBA. For 15 years, I put basketball first, and now it is time to put my health and family first, end quote. That is kind of a sad story because LaMarcus Aldridge was one of only 25 players in NBA history with 19,000 career points and 8,000 career rebounds, 7-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. And so it hurts my heart when top-tier athletes don't get to choose their own way out, when it is dictated to them when they're going.
Same here, and I didn't know the details, so I was going to say, well, the reason why he's retiring is because he spent an hour in conversation with Kyrie Irving and said, hey, I'm done.
Yeah, I hate it.
But I didn't realize it was the hard thing. Yeah, that's pretty bad. But it's a good thing that
they caught it.
That they caught it, and he's able to leave and get it treated. All right, the next thing trending is Brett Favre.
Brett Favre back in the news because Brett Favre said today, and of course I don't know, man. I hate to say this, and here I'm gonna get myself piled on here, Zoe. None of us have been talking about kneeling in the NFL in how long now, Lonzo? And correct me if I'm wrong here. When's the last time we've talked about people kneeling on the NFL field?
Well, it was a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about because of ratings. We were discussing ratings.
Yes, but we weren't like actively participating in the politics behind it. We were going like, hey, did it affect the ratings or not? Brett Favre, because Brett Favre has been out of the news for too long, decided to come out. Believes that athletes who kneel during the national anthem have, quote, created more turmoil than good. Look, you can go read the comments of Brett Favre. If y'all want to discuss them tomorrow on the show, that's fine. I had every intention of leaving them out, so thank you, Twitter. I don't know, Zoe. Brett Favre's a guy that just seems every 3-4 months, he seems to pop up back in the news on a regular cycle. Here he is bringing up an issue that we haven't really discussed in the offseason. I don't know. I mean,
I guess we all see what we want to see from it. What I saw was him say that he doesn't like politics in sports. He would like to be able to watch sports and get away from all of that. The same thing that I've been saying and a lot of other people have been saying. So we'll see what comes of this.
I find it interesting.
I mean, if Brett Favre gets canceled, what's that mean? I mean, are they going to take his records out and
pictures of his
no. Yeah, I agree. He made it. Yeah, he's probably.
Did way worse than disagree with kneeling and didn't get canceled. He's probably okay.
Yeah, that's true. All right, the last thing I have is, and I know this is going to bother you, especially after the Samoa Joe news. J-Lo and A-Rod have split.
Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, my heart, make it hurt. It hurts. I'm so sad. Condolences to friends and family. Anything else?
No, I said that was the last thing. I saved it because I knew it was the most hard-hitting news that we had. Yeah, and I could tell by the look on your face that you're going to need some time to recover.
Yeah, I'm really glad this is the end of the show because I got my pillow right here. I'm going to cry into it for a little while.
I bet it's devastating news for that show for men though, because they're really into that whole thing, I believe.
That's the sound of Zoe just absolutely destroying them on the way into that show. Let's get you an opportunity to win a grand. What do you say? It's $1,000 cash dash on ESPN Upstate. Your keyword for the 3 o'clock hour is plant, P-L-A-N-T, plant. Text that keyword plant, P-L-A-N-T, to 72881 for your chance to win a grand. Powered by BetQL. BetQL's proven data and analytics help you become a better. Download the BetQL app today. Text plant, P-L-A-N-T, to 72881 for your chance to win a grand. For Lonzo, my name's Rob Brown. Thanks for hanging out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back. I'll try to do better tomorrow, I promise, right here on the Rob Brown Show and ESPN Up.